currently in Syria now.
The government have taken away your citizenship, correct?
Yes, I was deprived of my citizenship in 2017. The only reason why I'm being deprived is because my parents are Pakistani.
So you get a convoy and what, you drive to Syria?
We start fundraising, we buy 11 ambulances, but the one we done after that was 100 ambulances, bro.
It's safer to be in a Syrian war zone than it is in London.
Safety is relative, bro. They left Syria, they went to the UK, and they died in Grenfell, bro. Allah says in the Quran that even if you're in tall, built-up towers, that death is gonna find you.
But it is fair to say you saved thousands of lives.
I married 40 people in one day, bro.
If you're stripped of your citizenship, they think you're a criminal.
One of my ops was ISIS, bro.
What is going on with you and Ali Dawah Mohammed Hijab?
Somewhere down the line, lost their path a bit in terms of the way that they deal specifically with sisters, with women.
You said you was also tortured.
Yes, I was tortured for one day.
When they turn around in interviews and say, no, that doesn't happen, how does that make you feel?
They did come out and deny it, etc. After that, it's been proven that it did happen. So, you know, I have some kind of vindication. Everybody knows I was telling the truth, you know what I mean? So I got stabbed in 2006.
Do you think Shamima Begum should be allowed back in the UK?
I think she should, yeah.
Streetlife is the only life that we know. Ghetto life, down in the ghetto we born and grow. No.
Okay, we are back. Another episode. Love to everybody as per usual, subscribing, following. We love to see it. We are growing. Boy, I'm in the studio with no guest, but there's a specific reason for that, and we're gonna get into it. We got a very special guest, but he's somewhere the other side of the world, and we're gonna get to all of the intricate details. Man like Tox is in the building, shall we say? Tox, what's going on?
Yeah, all good. I mean, technically, I'm not in the building because I'm not allowed in the building anymore, but that's a different story, huh?
They've kicked you out the building, but we're going to talk about that. First things first, is it cool to call you Tox, or should we go by your real name? How do you want to do this?
No, Tox is good. Most people in the UK know me as Tox. Only
Okay.
call me by my government name, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, that's if you've done something wrong, the government name comes out, innit?
That's it.
And then the shoe comes out with it, bruv.
Yeah, the slipper.
Quick one, for those that don't know, can you just give me a quick summary as to who you are and just currently what's going on?
So I'm Tox. I'm your general East London Jack the Lad. Lived in the UK. I was born in the UK, born in London, but about 14 years ago, I'd say, or a bit longer than that, I got involved in charity work, aid work. Ended up going to Gaza in 2009. Saw what I saw there that changed my life, and then never really looked back. Ended up working in different, theaters of war or aid, etc., earthquakes, floods, etc. And then I ended up in Syria in 2012 after the war broke out here, and I've been here ever since.
So you're currently in Syria, right?
Yeah, currently in Syria now.
And the current main thing with you is that the government have taken away your citizenship, correct?
Yes, I was deprived of my citizenship in 2017. I had anonymity on my case until 29. So basically, anonymity means that none of the press could speak about my case, because obviously, as an aid worker, people want to give donations, etc. It would have been problematic for my reputation that I've been deprived of my citizenship. People be like, oh, this guy's a terrorist now. So we had anonymity on the case while we were fighting in the ports until 2019, when the Shamima Begum case came out. And basically, all of the media was saying that the only people that have been stripped are ISIS, etc. At that point, we decided to come out publicly and say, no, wait a minute, actually, that's not true. Not everybody's ISIS. Not everybody, is a terrorist, etc. There's people that have gone out here to do aid work, help people. And we've also, lost our citizenship just for, trying to do the right thing. So yeah, that's how my case kind of became high profile. So after Shamima, my case is probably the second most high profile citizenship deprivation case in the UK.
Okay, I just wanted to outline because people will be watching. Obviously, they may not know the full picture.
Basically, I'm a terrorist, but I'm not a terrorist.
Bro, stop saying that, bro. Don't cancel my channel, bro. You get me? Allegedly, everything for entertainment purposes. Don't get me out of there, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
You know what? It's funny. It's funny because last month I had the Times come out, and they did a whole 2-page spread on me, right? And the Times is a proper right-wing newspaper, and they gave me after Syria's been liberated, and they like the new guy that's in charge. All of the media has changed, so they were like, meet Britain's most charming threat to national security. So it was actually a very nice piece that they done on me.
But when you do press and you kind of think that that's a right-wing paper, well, why would you even risk it? Do you get what I'm saying?
My thing is that I've always said that I'm innocent, and I always said that I'd love to have an open trial. I haven't been engaged in any acts of terrorism. I haven't been, doing anything that I believe is morally or ethically wrong. So I don't mind speaking in front of anybody. Do you understand? I've done like all different types of media, from the BBC to Channel 4, and today we're on Shizzio, you know what I mean?
The biggest one, bruv. You made it,
The
bruv.
biggest one out there, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is to talk to everybody, innit? It's about trying to make the world a better place, trying to make people understand, what makes people do things. Why do we actually come out here? Are all people bad guys? As the famous saying says, one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist. And so, unfortunately, it's just the standard procedure. When you're trying to help people, a lot of the time you will be branded a bad person or an enemy or a terrorist if, certain people have agendas. And sadly, that's what's happened in my case and other people's as well.
Can I just take it back, though, for people to know, born and bred where, sir? Because you told me off camera, but it's very important.
Yes, I was born in Walthamstow, born and bred in Walthamstow, E17.
E17?
But then, when I was about 15, my parents ended up moving to Manor Park, E12.
From the end?
So, that was a different life. I mean, Walthamstow is obviously a lot more, Walthamstow is very diverse. Newark, sadly, is one of the, I don't want to, use expletives, but it's a bit of a shithole.
And that's coming. I don't want to say. Right, yeah, go on.
I ended up getting into some fights. I got stabbed in 2006 in, ironically, Warrior Square. I don't know if you've heard of it. Warrior Square.
Right, nah.
It's under the flyover off Romford Road. So you're a good boy, so you know Romford Road, innit?
Listen, Romford Road's a warzone in itself, mate. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, so I got into madness in 2006, I think it was, yeah. And that was a turning point. And God just gives you all these different signs, right? And so that was just what the things that started making me think about my life differently.
Why did you get stabbed? What was it over?
To be honest, it was over something really dumb, but I was in the wrong place, wrong time, got caught slipping, got rushed by about 30 man. It was 3 of us, about 30 of them. They stole my car. I had a brand new car. I had a Golf GTI. Just put some nice brand new 18-inch rims on it. They robbed my car.
Oh, Mark 5?
It was a Mark 4. Mark 4 it would have been.
Okay. Well, old school, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and they tried to steal your car?
No, they took it. They took the car, bro. They took the car. So it was one of those things, sometimes when you're on road, innit, you think you're a bad man, innit? But sometimes God has a way of humbling you. Do you understand? And
right. So was you on road then? Was you a road kind of street cat?
Yeah, I was in and around it, innit? I was like, I don't want to be that guy saying, yeah, I was road.
No, I hear it.
I had my fair share of, I was known in the ends, and I'm not proud of I was a menace, but I wasn't a menace, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. You had a balance, a boundary.
Yeah, I was always some people, they ain't got no boundaries, you know what I mean? When they're on road, they're doing everything and anything. I was always the kind of guy that I was hustling, but I had boundaries, you know what I mean? I never wanted to hurt people. I always had this thing about justice. Even when I was on road, I didn't like, people being abused or, man getting run up. I didn't like that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was always a thing of, if we're going to do things, if we're going to fight, let's fight one-on-one. That kind of stuff.
old
that
school.
kind of stuff don't exist no more, sadly. You know what I mean?
Doesn't it? Doesn't
So
it?
I used to like a good one-on-one in a car park. You know what I mean? I did mind that, but
And then shake hands afterwards, like travelers do it. You
yeah,
get what
yeah,
I'm saying? Shake hands, done.
that's it. Shake hand afterwards. But obviously things started getting messy. People started pulling out knives, weapons, and yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of what happens now.
So how many times did you get stabbed?
I got stabbed twice, like down here next to close to my kidneys. I was quite lucky that it didn't hit any of my major organs.
Right. So then after that, you recover, and is that when you have a mindset change that I can't be doing this stuff anymore?
Yeah, so basically it's a bit of a mad one because what ended up happening is my crew of lads that was around or my team, basically when it's a mad one, so I've never actually told this story before, you know what I mean? But what ended up happening is that when I came out of hospital, I recovered pretty quickly. My mate that was with me, he got hit with a hammer in the head. He had to have reconstructive surgery in his forehead.
Oh wow.
So he got beat up really bad. They beat him up. He lived in that estate. So they beat him up until his front door, and his mum opened the door and he was just like bleeding there. Ambulance came and they took me. They said, look, you're not too serious. Even though I'd been stabbed, they were like, look, there's someone worse than you, went up. So anyway, when I came out of what's it called, hospital, and I was on it, I wanted to kind of get revenge, etc., etc. He wasn't really on it. He was like, you know what? I live in the estate, in it. My mum lives there, you know what I mean, whatever. And anyway, the guys that basically stole my car, they basically tried to shop my car back to my boys, which is a violation.
What?
So they basically,
But did they know that it's your boys?
yeah, they knew it was my boy.
Oh, so they were saying if you want it back, you got to pay.
Yeah, they basically said, look, here, they stripped the car.
Ransom.
They set the car on fire. They took the levers out, took the sound system out, took the wheels off of it. They said, listen, if you want all of that, you got to pay for it. So basically, my boys, they didn't tell me because they knew that if they told me, it's going to be, which in hindsight, alhamdulillah, that was a good thing because I would have done something dumb and that wouldn't have maybe brought me or put me where I'm at. And this is like God's plan in it. So what ended up happening is I kind of, at that point, when I found out, I basically said to my boys, listen, you know what? That's it, innit? You lot, that's a violation. You lot didn't tell me. That's like a dagger, innit? To the heart, you know what I mean? So you know what? Screw you lot, you know what I mean? I'm done with all of you lot. So I ended up moving away from these guys. They ended up getting into a next madness in Stratford, where they ended up murdering an ex-man who, you know what I mean, imagine he was a memorizer of the Quran. He was a hafiz of Quran. They ended up stabbing him. Quite a high profile case in Stratford. And yeah, so they all end up going down. And I was like, you know what? At that time, I wasn't like, alhamdulillah, because I wasn't practicing. But I was like, phew, I caught life. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? These mad, because if I'd still been around them, man, maybe I would have been involved in all of that madness. That was a way of kind of God protecting me. That's the way that I see it.
Right. So you turn your back on all that. You try to just live a normal life, yeah?
So yeah, so now I was like, you know what? I'd always kind of got by in school, even though I was naughty and that, but I managed to get my GCSEs. I managed to get through. I got kicked out of one college for fighting, went to the next college. I managed to scrape through with some grades. So I said, you know what? Let me go to uni, and you know what I mean. Let me live my life to the fullest. I had kind of a bad rep in the family at that time, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live out, go to a different city. So I ended up in Nottingham. I ended up going to uni.
That's a Nottingham, yeah, okay. Oh, right, go on.
So yeah, so anyone that knows me from Nottingham, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was obviously a different life. Again, I still wasn't kind of like, I hadn't had my epiphany of religion, and you know, I was still kind of, you know, I was enjoying life. You know how it is when you're at uni, clubbing, all of that kind of stuff. Everything's open, innit? And when you're an East London guy, you're street smart, and you're in uni, there's a lot of ways to make money, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
times are good.
Hence the name Shottingham.
Times are good. I had a nice car, I had a BMW convertible. You know, we used to have, you know, well, I forget.
What, 46?
I had
Was it
an
an E46?
I had an E36 Cabriolet at that time.
Boy.
Yeah.
A story will blue. Don't gas me, Tox. Don't gas me.
Yeah. So yeah, man. at them times, like, got involved with a lot of people that were kind of promoting. Now, obviously, I've just a disclaimer. I'm not promoting this kind of lifestyle to anyone.
Oh, cool.
I've changed and I've
Yeah.
gone away from all this stuff, and this was just kind of a learning for me and a
Learn.
process. So I'm just putting that out there for anyone that sees this. Don't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I started promoting nightclubs, and a lot of the guys that are around were running some of the big clubs there. You know, there was big nights. I used to have parties for when it was my birthday. I was known for having a big party every year, sort of thing. And so yeah, that was me. I was like quite a popular guy. I wasn't like a recluse. Do you know what I mean? I was a well-known person, popular, had friends. Times were good, but I just remember going out one night on a night out. And I never used to drink because I never used to like alcohol anyway, right? I never used to drink. It was just like something that I was always generally confident. So I did. Most people, I think, drink because they're trying to get some Dutch courage or
Yeah.
whatever. So I didn't really need that. So didn't like to drink. So I just remember being out one night and I had kind of like a mad experience where everyone's having a good time, big night out. And for me, everything's just going in slow motion. And I'm looking around and I'm like, is this all there is to life? This can't be all there is to life. You know what I mean? And so I end up going home that night and I was like, I just told my boys, like, listen, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go home early night. Next night, it was another night out. Came up, same thing. Everything started going into slow motion. I was thinking, raw, something ain't right. You know what I mean? So I went home the second day. Third day, went out. Same thing. I said,
You still went out though, innit? Third day, you get me?
still went out. No, I was
Sorry.
the kind of guy, yeah, I would go out for a night out, come back at Fajr and pray my Fajr, and my boys used to take the piss out of me. They're like, bro, what's wrong with you, man? We just been out on a night out and you're going and you're praying Fajr. Like, are you dumb, bro? Do you know what I mean? And I'll be like, no, you've got to pray, man. You've got to pray. Do you know what I mean? So I always had this thing in me. I don't know whether it was, you know, a strong upbringing from my parents and family, but I just had that thing, you know what? Got to pray and see what my Fajr, like, is ironic. Maybe it was, you know, but I think that saved me from a lot of things. And so, yeah, so then I just started, like, I just realized that this can't be all it is to life, like money, cars, women, drugs. This can't be. Is this what life's all about? So I went on this kind of journey of discovery. I started going to Bible class in uni. Started going to, there was, you know, a couple of friends that I had that were Buddhists. Started talking to them about religion. And I just started studying all the religions. And then it was only at that point that I kind of like started looking back at Islam. Even though I was born a Muslim, I would say that I didn't really think that I was really a Muslim back in those days. You know what I mean? It's only when I started looking at it and I was like, you know what, rah, this is the truth, man. And just so happened while I'm on this journey and I'm like, there was actually one person I got to shout out is a brother called Sharif, man, Allah bless him. His brother was a Jamaican brother from South London. And he was an inspiration to me because when we were at uni, as you know, like freshers, you know, everything's open, you know what I mean? My guy was so disciplined and so strong on his religion. And when I saw him, I was like, rah, this guy wasn't even born a Muslim. But he don't drink, he don't do drugs. My man's praying, my man's away from all the gal. And I'm born a Muslim. How is my man? So I got to learn his story. He became a Muslim. His family kicked him out of his house. He had to hide to pray. Like, his family would take the mick out of him, make him eat pork and all this kind of stuff. And he was just so inspiring. And he gave me Malcolm X's autobiography. When I read Malcolm X's autobiography, that had a massive impact on me. I read that and I was like, raw. And so these small little things started having an impact on my life. And I was just searching for something. It was like something was missing in my life. Like, I couldn't work out what it was, but I was like, something's not right. This can't just be life. You know what I mean? I'm just like enjoying myself, living life for myself. You know what I mean? And so one of my mates, he ended up coming down from London, came and he was fundraising for Palestine. He'd just been on a convoy to Palestine. And he was like,
Right. What year is this, sorry?
this is gonna be 2009.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, I'm fundraising, we're buying an ambulance and we're driving to Palestine, to Gaza. I was like, what? I was like, what's it called? You're going to Gaza? Like, how you going to Gaza? Like, yeah, we're buying an ambulance, we're gonna fill it with aid, and then we're gonna drive there. We're going on a convoy, and it's, George Galloway, whatever. And I said, listen, sign me up in it. How can I go? He's like, nah, I don't.
What? Straight away?
Straight away, I was like, you know what? Something was just drawing me to Palestine. Something was just saying, you know what? So, yeah, I ended up on that journey. It was a very difficult journey. I met an amazing brother on that journey who kind of mentored me. Halfway through, I wanted to give up because like 6 weeks on the road, going through different countries. Halfway through, I wanted to give up. But then eventually, after all this difficulty, we end up getting to Gaza. Like, we're driving through all these countries and people are treating us like heroes. And
Right.
you feel like a great sense of satisfaction. But then at the same time, you feel bare guilty because you're like, Palestinians can't go to Palestine, and it's hard for them to go to Gaza. But because we got a British passport, we can just kind of like, even though there was difficulties and stuff, but we can get
Right.
there. And so like we were driving through certain countries like Morocco and different places that women were taking off their gold and giving it to us and saying, look, take this to the people of Gaza. And it was just something I had never experienced in my life. I was like, what is this? This is like, it's unheard of. And then we made
Yeah.
it to Gaza, and it just changed my life, bro. What I saw there just changed me forever. I was never the same person ever again.
What did you see?
So yeah, for me, it's very simple. Like what I saw were three main things you can see. I saw, number one, I saw a people that were so resilient in the face of adversity. Like when I looked at them, I was like, how? Like, they have so little in terms of the dunya, in terms of the materialistic positions, but yet they have so much. They have this iman, they have this aura. Like when you walk into the room with some of these people, it's just like, I don't know if you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, like when you were younger, bro, but it's like they got like a energy emanating from them. And I was like,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to me. I remember I stayed with a brother, and this guy was he was a teacher by day, and by night he was like a resistance fighter. And the way he would say goodbye to his children and his wife every night, it was like it's the last time he's ever gonna see them. And I looked at it, it was so profound. I was like, sometimes we'll be at home and we're so busy in a rat race, working. We don't even see our family. We don't even chat to our family sometimes, you know what I mean? And it was just a completely different perspective. So that was number one. Number two was children. Gaza's like a playground. Literally everywhere you go, you just see children playing on the streets, playing on lampposts, trees, donkeys. You're like, how is this place getting bombed? How are they trying to kill these people? It's just all kids. Like literally, there's 2 million people, I think it's in Gaza, and 60% are children, bro. Wallah, it's mad. Like all you hear when you're walking around is the sound of two things: children and building. So they're just rebuilding. This building smashed down. They're just making it out of something else. And so when I went there, my life, like I was like, nah, I can't be the same person and go back. These people, they have found the key to life. And we have wealth, we got money, but we're not happy. Deep down inside, we're not happy. These people got nothing, but they got sukoon, they got a contentment of the heart. And so that was just a life changer for me, bro. It was a game changer.
What was the third thing? Sorry, that's two.
So yeah, the third thing was that they just the building, they just wouldn't give up. They had this
Right.
heart. They had this heart where no matter what, we are not gonna give up. This is our land, and we are gonna defend this, and we're gonna basically fight for what's ours. And when I looked at it in comparison to what we were fighting for in our areas and the dumb road stuff that we were doing, I was like we fight for like no purpose. Sometimes over postcodes, sometimes over dumb stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know, you're fighting your own people, and while the rich are looking at you laughing, you idiots, you're fighting each other on the roads, over postcodes you don't own, or over, I'm from the ends, or you're this or you're that. And so it was it was just like, right, these people are fighting for a cause. They're fighting for, you know, women and children who are oppressed. Like, this is a real cause. And so I would say that I always had that fight inside me, but it just needed to be directed. And so when I saw these people fighting the real fight and it was honorable, I said, you know what, these, like, it just all made sense. It just all clicked in my mind.
How long was you out there for?
And it's crazy. I was only out there for 3 days, bro. 3 days.
Oh, okay. Right, 3 days.
Those 3 days feel like a lifetime.
Right.
And so basically after that, the government there, they wouldn't let us stay. We wanted to stay. They wouldn't let us stay. They said it's too dangerous. Your voices are more powerful and beneficial to us outside. We don't need you inside Gaza, right? And so I remember we were in tears, like grown man. We were crying leaving Gaza. That's the profound impact that it had on us, bro. Do you know what I mean? And people might be listening to this and think, wow, that's mad. Like that don't make sense. But if you look at just Gaza now and what they call it, the Gaza effect, bro. What Gaza is doing now to the whole world, it's woken up the whole world to all of like the injustices, all of this Epstein shit that's going on. Like Gaza has woken up the whole world. And so imagine that at a concentrated effect times a million. You're there and you're meeting these people, right? So when people talk about heroes and heroism, those people are next level. Next level.
So you returned back to the UK after that?
So I came back to the UK. I made a commitment. I said, you know what? I'm going to help these people and other people. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so I started organizing more aid convoys to Gaza. I started getting known for taking ambulances. But I didn't end up getting in after that, anytime after that. Because I built up a bit of a following, I ended up getting invited onto a Marby Mama. That was the first freedom flotilla. I don't know if you heard about the recent one where Greta Thunberg was on it.
Yeah.
So I went on the first one. That was in 2010.
Right.
The Israeli commandos, they basically boarded the ship. Obviously, we smacked up a few of them. They started fighting with us. The
ends came out of you, bruv.
The ends came out. And then obviously
Yeah.
they started using live fire and they started like, obviously, our thing was that, so the flotilla was about 10 ships and our ship was the largest. We won a ship called a Marby Mama, which is like a massive cruise ship, 3 floors, over 600 people, different countries, very high profile people. And the goal was, the understanding was that there's so many people from all these different countries, there's no way impossible that the Israelis are going to come on and board the ship or, you know, it's Humanitarians taking aid to Gaza, right? So anyway, no one thought they would come on with that brutality. So they came in with their helicopters and they started shooting people and 9 of our comrades got killed on that day. That was the first time I saw someone get kind of, you know, murdered in front of me. And yeah, I ended up getting arrested by the Israelis, me and obviously another 600 people. Obviously, you got to understand a lot of them high-profile Palestinian activists. The Imam of Masjid al-Aqsa was there. There was a member from the Israeli Knesset. There was Jews. There was actual Orthodox Jews who are against Israel. The shit. There was people from, you know, America, from Australia, all the different Malaysia, all the different nations. So eventually, yeah, they ended up boarding the ship. We surrendered. They arrested us all. They took us to occupied Palestine or Israel. We were imprisoned there. And what they did was the Israelis, they jammed the satellite signal of the ship. So there was press on board, but they couldn't get any of their news out. So obviously in the beginning it was quite scary because we didn't know has the news got out or not. But the aid organization that had organized the ship, they had a backup satellite connection that was streaming live to the internet. So alhamdulillah, the word got out. It became an international story, and then yeah, we ended up coming out of prison after 3 or 4 days. But in the beginning, the treatment was very bad. Obviously, when it got public, then the Israelis started treating us differently.
When you say the treatment got bad, what does that mean?
So I'll give you an example. So when they took us out the ship, what they did was they pointed their M16s at us. So, you know, like the movies, the red dot comes on you. You
Right.
got to come out with your hands up. And so at that time, I was in good shape, probably the best shape of my life. Came out, and one of the IDF soldiers, he went to slap me in the face. And so I just tensed myself up, kind of like tensed myself. He got scared. Instead of slapping me, he just stroked my beard. And I just started laughing.
Man got the stroke.
He struck me.
Sorry,
He
bruv.
struck my beard. So I just started laughing. So then, yeah, they cable tied us in a stress position behind our back, took us to the top of the ship and just left us. Imagine we're in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea in the baking sun, and we're just all tied up in a stress position. One of the guys that was translating, he was translating for them. One of their dogs, because they had like a K9 unit, one of their dogs bit him on the chest.
Bro.
So he had like a gaping wound on his chest. You had other people that were fainting because of the heat. We had a lot of elderly people on the ship. So yeah, they had all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, once we got to Beersheba, or the port of Ashdod, they had like this whole facility set up for us, brand new facility where they processed us. They started strip searching us, taking the eye scan. They were very rude. I remember one Israeli guy, he said to me, "Why? What did you think you were doing? You think you would go to Gaza?" I said, "Yeah, we were just taking aid to Gaza." He said, "Don't you know that we are Israel?" I was like, it was so arrogant. I still remember his face till this day. But
what happens to all the aid? Do they just take it and it never lands?
yeah, so
It never reaches
they
Gaza?
confiscated all the aid. They took all our money. They took our passports. They took everything. They took our cameras, everything.
Right.
And then yeah, then our obviously people's different embassies get involved.
Yeah.
And so we were in prison. The Irish ambassador came first. So he came. He was supposed to pick up the Irish. He came. He brought us up chocolates, bounties, and Snickers to the English. I think the English, we were about 24 of us Brits on the ship. And so the Irish got taken out straight away. The ambassador came out, took them out straight away. Us Brits, yeah, we're Brits. We got a British passport. We should be out first, bro. Every other country got taken out. Countries like Pakistan, who don't even have any ties with Israel. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Singaporean or Malaysian ambassador came out and took them out. So we, the Brits, were the last. We got the strongest parts. We were the last people. Our government basically said to us, "Who told you to go there?"
Who was the prime minister?
The prime minister at that time would have been, I don't know if it was, I'm not even sure, you know, I can't remember. 2000.
Well, Boris.
Might have been Boris, yeah.
Okay, so they just said tough.
But
Stay
like,
there.
you lot went there. We're gonna give you. Basically, they said to us, which is mad because we eventually got a phone call, and they were like, "Listen, we can give you a temporary travel document, and we could give you a £50 loan on your passport. You'll have to pay that back when you get back." We were like, "But they robbed all our money. How are we gonna buy a ticket? How are we gonna buy a ticket? They robbed all our money. We don't have no money. We don't have nothing." They're like, "You got one phone call. You can call someone to help you." So anyway, the Turkish government ended up stepping in. Their ambassador came. They gave us 5-star plane ticket to Turkey on like beds on the what's it called, on the airplanes.
Okay.
Got to Turkey. The president came on the plane and shook every one of our hand.
No way.
Came out of the airport and put us on a bridge. There's 1 million people there, just screaming and greeting us. People giving us presents, flowers. Oh my God, it was something I will never forget in my life. They said to us, "We're gonna bury the martyrs who got killed on the ship. You guys are welcome to stay as long as you want. We're gonna put you in 5-star hotels, courtesy of the Turkish government. Do the funerals. Take your time. When you guys are ready to go home, let us know, and then we'll book your flights home." So we stayed there for about a week, 10 days. Then we booked flights, and they gave us 5-star flights back to the UK. Got to the UK, and we get to
How long you stay out there for, Tori?
for about 10 days in Turkey.
Right. Go on.
So we done the funerals. Funerals are crazy. Millions of people coming out. Never seen scenes like that in my life. And then yeah, just came back to the UK. Get to Heathrow Airport. There's lots of press and that waiting there. All the British contingent go through. The only one who gets stopped under anti-terror legislation, Schedule 7, is me. Good old me.
Okay. Okay. Why is that then?
I was like, guys, they're like, where you be? What you be doing? I'm like, guys, like the whole world knows where I've been. It's been an international media story for real. I just want to go home. I'm tired. I've been through like a crazy ordeal. Anyway,
Yeah.
thankfully, my comrades, big up some of them, Kieran and what's it called, Ellie, and a lot of these guys that are part of the Palestinian Solidarity Committee. They basically did a protest at the airport. They said, we're not going to leave the airport until Tox comes out. So then they just basically said, look, Khas, we'll let you out, go, and we'll speak to you later, sort of thing. And
How does that make you feel though, when you're kind of there and your own kind of government is kind of not backing you? They've cut you loose.
I think what it did for me was it really kind of, obviously this is all before Brexit and all of that, but it really kind of highlighted for me. To be honest, it was a big shock, because when you're born in London's so multi-ethnically diverse, right? You don't really feel out of place, never. Like I don't think I ever really suffered racism in London growing up at all.
That's because you're a man apart, bruv. You get
Yeah,
me?
even when I was in Walthamstow, like I don't ever
Yeah,
remember
true.
anyone even saying Packy or this or that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's rare, but only when you kind of go out of London and you go kind of further out to some
Yeah.
basic.
I can show you a few places, bro.
Yeah,
Trust
you
me.
start
But
you
yeah, go
start
on.
to feel it if you go out Southend back in the day or Bristol or whatever, right? You feel it maybe a bit
Yeah.
more. But growing up in London, and that's the beauty of London, you know what I mean? You don't feel that. It's amazing, the diversity. I always talk about it to people here. I say, you know what? That's one of the amazing things about the UK, London. Like, it's just all different nationalities, all different people. That's beautiful. That's like one of the best things. And so, being brought up in London, being told that we're all British, we're all equal under the law, you're British and all of that, like, I really believed that. I really, but that was my identity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was British before I was Pakistani. I never ever kind of connected with like in my household, my mom and dad don't even speak Urdu. They speak English. We speak English in the house. Do you know what I mean?
And you was born in the UK, right?
Yeah, I was born in the UK. I was born in Whips Cross Hospital, bro.
Right. Okay. Right.
So going through that, and then obviously you start getting profiled when you're trying to, like, obviously I started getting profiled when I started doing the Palestine stuff. Every time I started coming back to the UK, I started getting Schedule 7. And I didn't understand it. I was just a guy from the ends, bro. I was like, why are you stopping me? That they would ask me.
What is a Schedule 7 for those that don't know?
So a Schedule 7 is a type of anti-terror legislation. It's basically laws to do with terrorism laws. And so Schedule 7 is that any border crossing, you can be stopped by the police. So whether that's if you're going to Dover via the Channel Tunnel or you're flying in, any border crossing, they can stop you under Schedule 7 and they can hold you for a maximum of 48 hours for questioning.
Right.
So what would happen is they always ask the same kind of dumb questions, like, what mosque do you go to? I was like, bruv, I don't even go to a mosque. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, they're like, what do you think of this person? Or I was like, I don't even know who these people are. Do you know what I mean? So the questions they were asking me very kind of like questions about specific groups and specific people. I just wanted to help the people of Palestine. I didn't even know about all these different things. If anything, they started making me research all this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right, because they're giving you names, and you're like, well, who's that?
They give me information. So, in the beginning, the first time, obviously, you go through periods, innit, where in the beginning, you're like, just like, what's kind of going on? Eventually, you start getting pissed off because you're like, every time you're going somewhere, sometimes even if you're just going on a holiday, you get stuck. They'll make you miss your flight. It becomes harassment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually, after a while, you just get used to it. It just becomes like routine. You know, you're going to get stopped every time you travel. And so you're just like, all right, lads, what's going on?
Is that thing on your kind of record for life? Is that just one of them things? You're just marked now?
Yes, I mean, obviously back then, that was before I lost my citizenship, so I had been flagged up. So they put some kind of mark. This person's involved in activism, etc. They put mark on my passport. But obviously now it's very different, isn't it? Now it's like next level.
Right. Do you go back to Palestine, or was that the only time you kind of went?
once again, just stopping the camera, going again. Yeah.
Go on.
So yeah,
Uh,
after that, I've ever been back to Palestine. No, I only got in once. And
Right.
after that, every other time that I tried to go, it just didn't work out. Like I said,
So you still try again and again with aid.
yeah, I tried that. I would still take convoys. Basically, I would take convoys at the Egyptian border. They would say, you're not allowed in. So Egypt, the basic Israelis spoke to the Egyptians. They were like, this guy's not allowed in. So I got banned from Egypt. I got banned from Jordan. I started getting banned from all of these countries. That basically, look, the reality is, when you want to help the Palestinian people, you become an enemy. That is basically it. Because the those who shouldn't be named, you had one highly on the show not too long ago, because
Yeah.
they run the media sort of thing, you become an enemy. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah. And then what happens to the aid that you've accumulated then?
So thankfully, because we'd be a massive convoy, the aid would still go through.
Okay.
There would be hundreds of it. It wouldn't be me just going on my ones. We'd be taking 20, 30 ambulances, driving them all the way from the UK, all the way to Palestine. And so
Right.
because I became high profile, they would basically, the rest of the convoy would go in, but they wouldn't let me in,
Okay.
sort of thing.
There's only you. They just say you ain't coming in. Everyone else can come in.
Yeah, there's other people that, again, like the more high profile you become, and once you become on the Zio's radar, they start to kind of go after you. Do you know what I mean?
And are you on their radar from that boat incident? The flotilla?
Obviously, from the first time I went to Palestine, that brought me on their radar a little bit. After the boat, it was just like, this guy. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of us, majority of us that were on the Mavi Marmara, like, that was problems. Do you understand? Because that made the Israelis look really bad, because they killed. That's the first time. It's sad to say, but Palestinian blood was cheap. No one cared about the Palestinian blood. But this was the first time the Palestinians had brutally just killed lots of foreigners, aid workers.
Israelis.
The Israelis, yeah, the Israelis, not the Palestinians.
Yeah.
So because the Israelis had come on and killed all of these people in such a brutal way, it made them look really bad. So anyone that was involved in that, they basically wanted to really go after them.
Right. I guess then, I suppose you could just work from the UK and be sending this stuff over. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
If you know you're blacklisted kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you end up doing?
That's what we started doing, and I started working after it. For me, after that, it wasn't just about Palestine. I went to Pakistan the first time when the earthquake happened. I went to different flood. When the flood happened in Pakistan in 2010, I went there.
Right.
There was an earthquake. We supported the earthquake in Haiti that happened. So yeah, we were just like, it became more of a kind of a general aid. Anytime there was a disaster or emergency, we started kind of helping.
And kind of, how are you getting kind of finance and stuff like that? Is this just from people?
Yeah, so this is general donation. Obviously, back then, we were very small. Now, yeah, we have our own charity called IPRA Charity. We're registered in different countries all across the world. We also have our kind of media platform, which is called Live Updates from Syria. That's make noise, make change. And so, yeah, we've always been about activism and charity. We're not just one of those charities. That one of our things has always been that we will go to places where other charities ain't going to go. You understand? We're not scared. We're going to get the aid to people that really need it, even if that means we're going to put ourselves in harm's way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that kind of aspect of kind of putting your own safety at risk, where does that come from? Because surely you got family, surely parents are saying, listen, you can do this from here. You could essentially be the hub here. Why do you have to physically go to all these places and put yourself at risk?
So what I say is this, yeah, is that I'm a dead man walking, bro. Do you understand? Like, I got stabbed in 2006. I could have just been another statistic. London boy killed, East London stabbing, blah, blah, blah. So God gave me another chance. And what we believe in Islam is that you are going to die at your appointed time. So there's a famous saying that says, your cowardice is not going to extend your lifespan, and your bravery is not going to shorten your lifespan. Does that make sense? So I was closer to death in the UK in 2006, getting stabbed in Warrior Square in a council estate, than the last 15 years, and I've been in all sorts of war zones and bombs falling and people getting killed and all sorts, you know what I mean? So I really believe truly in, God's divine, you know, way, and that you're only going to die when it's written for you. So whether I'm in the UK or whether I'm here helping people, when it's my time, you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the problems, right? We see injustice in the world and we're willing to help as long as it doesn't hurt us or harm us. And I think that's the problem. I think, when you see oppression taking place and you're silent and you're complicit. So for me, I was always 100% or nothing. Even when when I was in the UK, if it was parties, if it was whatever, I was always like, I've always been an adrenaline junkie. You know what I mean? I like fast cars, fast bikes, bungee jumping, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now that I came to Islam and I'm on this path, I was like, how can I not help these people with everything that I have? Like, what's the difference between my mum sitting in the UK and a Palestinian mother in Palestine, or a Burmese mother in Myanmar, or a Rohingya mother in Myanmar, or, a Syrian mother in Syria? What's the difference? There ain't no difference. And so that kind of just shaped my mindset. I think even when I was on road, it's mad because people might remember some of these stories, but I had a saviour complex. And I remember this from my older brother. Like, we used to live on Forest Road, yeah. Big up to my older brother because he's, mashallah, lion. And I remember we used to live on Forest Road, and it was a busy main road. And there used to be like a pub there and Black Horse Station. A house was there. They're quite a busy area. There's a cab service, whatever. So me and my brother, we used to share a bedroom. We used to be at the front of the house. And so on a Friday night, it'll be a lot of noise, you know what I mean? People going to the pub, whatever. One day there was a guy there and he was beating the hell out of a woman. He was like drunk and he was beating the crap out of her. And everyone at the taxi around, they were just all just looking, watching, and just, just watching, on looking, laughing or whatever. So my brother's there, he's fuming. He's like, I can't take this. It's not right. You know what I mean? So he goes downstairs. He was 16 then, and I would have been, how old would I have been? I think there's 9 years between me and him. So I would have been like, 9, I would have been like 7 years old.
Yeah, 7, yeah.
So I remember seeing him go downstairs, opens the front door. My dad says to him, "Where you going?" He's like, "No, I've got to go stop this guy." And I mean, my dad's like, "Get in the house." My dad's like, "Get in the house, she ain't going nowhere." Bolts the door. My brother goes back upstairs, climbs out of the top window of the house, climbs down the house, goes, beats that guy up and saves the lady. She was like, "You know what? Thank you so much," whatever. And I just looked at her, and I always, like, that's the first memory that I have. And I think that, you know what, that's the right thing to do. You gotta be chivalrous as a man. You gotta be a protector. This is an Islamic, actually, it's an Islamic principle as well. All big al-Qawwam, a protector, right? So that's my earliest kind of experience of seeing someone going and protecting someone. And my brother really built that in me, that, you know what, when you see people that are like being oppressed, you should always help. One time I got bottled by a girl. Funnily enough, my boys always take a piss out of me.
How'd that happen, bro?
So we were standing outside Indiano Pizza at St. James Street. I don't know if you know it. And we're just chilling, nice hot summer's day. And there's a girl getting beaten up. She's getting rushed by about 10 girls in the middle of the street, and they're beating her up. And basically they ripped her top off, so she's at topless in the street and that. And I just felt sorry for everyone's just watching. Everyone's like, got their phones out, whatever. And I was like, this is just wrong, man. Like, she's getting laid into. So I run into the middle, put my arm around her, grab her, and I'm telling all the other girls, like, just leave her in it. One big girl, she's like, "Oi, blood." Like, I grabbed her. She was like the main ringleader.
I'm good.
She's like, "Oi, blood, I beg you, get off me, blood." I was like, "Listen, just get off her, innit? Just get off her." They were pulling her hair out of her. Anyway, she's like, "Oi, blood, I beg you, get off me, blood." I'm like, "Listen, just get off her." Next thing I know, crap, she's hit me in the head with a bottle. I didn't realize it at the time, but I managed to get the girl free. She's gone running. She just legged it. As soon as she's got free, obviously, because she was topless, she's just gone running. And then all the other girls are like dispersed, right? So I've come walking back to my boys, and I just feel like a warm trickle of blood like coming down my face. I look at it, I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm bleeding." And so they all just taking the piss out of me, like, "Oh, see, who told you to be a hero?" You know what I mean? But till today,
How come your boys didn't back you, bro? What's going on here, man?
yeah, because
You got a full team meeting here.
some people are like that. They like watching the show, innit? Like, for me, Like for me is that I could not sit there. Like if she was having a one-on-one, I would have been like, whatever. But 10 girls beating her up and then her getting violated, I just, like inside me, I couldn't let that happen. So that's just how I've always been, bro. And so, yeah, just that's how it just kind of went.
Fair enough. Okay, so how does this Syria thing happen? Break that down. Is there an opportunity to go there?
Yeah, so in 2012, a group of people came to me and they said, listen, a war's just broken out in Syria. Um, you know, Bashar al-Assad, he's a tyrant and he's bombing his own people and he's killing them. You've got experience taking convoys to Palestine. We want you to organize one to Syria. I was like, nah, you know, I'm mad, bro. What you man want to go to Syria for? Like, I don't know. Like, I'd been to Syria before the revolution because I'd traveled, like, obviously doing other stuff. And I knew
Yeah.
something was up in that country, but I didn't understand the level of oppression. So, like, a few
Right.
weird things had happened when I'd been in Syria. Like, because I just started passing, one guy came up to me, grabbed my beard, started crying. I was like, why is this guy crying? I didn't speak Arabic at the time. I was like, why is this guy crying? And they explained to me that, yeah, he's crying because he had a beard. He said he had a beard like yours, and the regime put him in prison for 8 years until he shaved his beard off. I was like, rah, that's mad. Another experience, we were in an internet cafe at the time, and we were playing the Quran loud, and the guy was like, bruv, I'm already hot because you lot are in my cafe, and now you're going to put the Quran on. Turn that off right now. We're like, bruv, this is a Muslim country. What do you mean turn the Quran off? So these like things that happened, but I didn't really understand it until these guys explained to me that obviously Bashar al-Assad was very oppressive. He like hated Islam. You know, he was oppressing the majority Sunni population, and basically a civil war had broken out and he was killing his own people.
Right.
So I said, all right, let's do it.
I said, all right, okay, listen, bruv, it's a war zone, bruv. It's like active war zone. So did you not want to think twice and be like, hold on, wait for this to calm down?
Nah, not really. I told you.
said, no.
I told you, dead man walking in it. I thought, you know what, if we can go, we can help people.
Right.
We contacted all the charities and no one wanted to help us. Everyone was like, nah, you know what, it's too risky.
Doesn't that tell you something when it's that risky? Everyone's saying no, perhaps you should just hold back a bit.
For me, it's the opposite. When you see oppression and everybody is saying no because of their own inhibitions or their own cowardice, that's when we act. The way I look at it is like God is gonna account us. God is good.
Why can't I hear you? Your sound's gone. Hold on. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on.
My sound clear now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, I was saying that we live in a globalized era, bro. Like when I hear those kind of things, like we cannot say we didn't know. Like we're seeing people, kids, babies getting killed in 4K, right? We will not be able to say when God asks us on Judgment Day, you saw those people being killed. Why did you not do anything? We're not gonna, what are we gonna say? That we were just chilling, living our own lives in comfort.
But can you blame those that don't have that mindset that you have?
It's not, I don't think it's about blaming them. I think that it's because at one point I was one of those people, right? I was one of those people
Right.
that was living that life. I was living my own life of luxury. That's what I thought success was. I thought success was about making money, you know, having a big house, having a nice car, all of that. But now my mind's changed. I don't see that as success. I see that all as that is the deception of the dunya. That is the trick. And when you see, that's why you see all of these celebrities, all these people, a lot of them are cokeheads, a lot of them are committing suicide, a lot of them are selling their soul to the devil and all this kind of stuff. Look, you're around the music industry, you know a lot of madness that people have to do, yeah, for this success in the dunya. But when you believe in the afterlife and you believe that this life is temporary, then your mindset changes. You're like, bro, why am I going to be? And the crazy thing is, yeah, the way Allah is, the way God is that when you leave the dunya, Allah gives it to you anyway. Like I have people always say to me, like, how you surviving, this and that. I'm like, you know what? I was making good money when I was in the UK. But when I started working for the sake of God, Allah provides. Money comes to me. Do you know what I mean? It because money is not my motive anymore, it just comes easily. You know what I mean? There's a famous saying of a scholar of Islam. He says that this dunya is like a shadow. If you try and chase the shadow, you try and grab your own shadow, you'll never be able to catch it.
Never catch
But
it.
if you just keep walking, the dunya has no choice. Your shadow is going to follow you. Do you know what I mean? And I believe that 100%. When you leave, when your life is not about dunya and it's about the next life, and everything just falls into place. And that's why I feel that we need to build that mindset in people and say to people, you know what? When you are more courageous, when you do things for people, when you live like a life where you're helping other people, one, God is going to, we have this concept of barakah, which is blessings. God puts blessings in your life where you're happy. Like, people always ask me, how can you be in a war zone and you're happy? I'm like, you know what? God's blessed me with so much. Do you know what I mean? Why wouldn't I be happy? But when you might have all these material possessions around you and you're not happy. Like, bro, sometimes I was just sitting, I was outside the other day with my daughter and we were just laying in a field, bro, looking at the clouds and it was banging, bro. I was like, Rokaya, this is just, we were just having a wicked time, bro. It was just, and it don't cost you nothing. But how many people just sit there one day and just look up at the sky?
Big facts.
You know what I mean?
Big facts. How does that conversation over your family though? Like, I'm gonna go to a war zone now.
So my family,
surely
my family were kind of relieved, didn't it? I broke all of the kind of stereotypes in your typical kind of Pakistani family. Like, for example, obviously I lived out, I went to uni, different city. Obviously I was doing all this madness. I got stabbed. So when I was on the road and doing all this madness, when I started practicing, my family was just like happy because they were like, you know what? Alhamdulillah, this guy, at least he's not doing that madness now. You know what? Like, I remember, and this is for anyone that's on road, like one of my lowest points in life, I remember when I got juked, when I got stabbed up and I was in the hospital bed.
Man said juked. Sorry, bro. You made me laugh. I heard that lyric for a minute. But go on, sorry,
did it?
I said juked, you know. Yeah, go on. Go on, bro.
Yeah, I gotta stay with the times. I'm not in with all the.
No. It's good. It just made me smile because I used to hear that word so much.
Yeah,
but
my man got gypped up, yeah. So I remember laying in a hospital bed and my mom and dad come in, right? And they're just looking at me. And my mom was crying. And they didn't say nothing to me. And I couldn't move. I couldn't run away. I couldn't move. I remember just turning my head away. And that was like one of the lowest moments in my life where like nothing had to be said. Do you know what I mean? Like literally, that was a waste man, bro. Do you understand? I was a waste man. I was doing like, there was no purpose in my life. And so when my parents, when I started practicing and I started changing, they were very supportive. Like, I mean, I even married out of the cast. I married out of the race, bro. Do you understand? My wife, she's mixed race. Like she's half white, she's half quarter Jamaican, a quarter white, and half Bayesian, right?
Okay.
She's from South London. So I kind of broke all the stereotypes. So she came out here with me. We were only married for 10 months, bro. And so she came out here with me to Syria. She's been with me all these years.
Right, but hold on, right? You're practicing and you're away from the road stuff. I get all of that. But then to say I'm going to go into a war zone, sure, your parents were just cool with that.
Yeah, they were like, you know what? Because they were like, you know what? Like, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed as always that way that my mom is a fighter, bro. My mom's always said, speak the truth. But
is that where you get it from then?
Whether it's for you or against you, my mom is loud. She's like a fighter. You know what I mean? Dad is calm. My dad is the calm. He's the rock of the house. Keeps everything calm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like they were supportive. They understood it. They knew like with me, they knew whatever they're gonna say to me, I ain't gonna listen to it. Unfortunately, I was that like everything I done, like they told me the opposite and I didn't listen. So they were like, you know what, as long as he's doing good things, then you know what, we're gonna support it. Because like even when I moved back to uni, they didn't want me to go. When I was like on like everything, do you know what I mean? Who I was hanging around with, they didn't want me to be around these people. I just wasn't listening, you know what I mean? But Allah forgive me, because obviously you should be good to your parents. And I hope that, and now that they're proud of me, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you get a convoy and what? You drive to Syria? Same thing, ambulance thing?
Yeah, so we start fundraising. We buy 11 ambulances. We fill them up.
You buy 11 ambulances?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm pretty sure if I go on the Auto Trader, I won't find ambulances for sale, bro. So where are you finding ambulances for sale?
you find them, bro. Trust me. You got ex-NHS ambulances. Yeah, there's something called what do they call it? They basically, when they go out of service, the NHS basically, after a certain amount of years,
I
they,
didn't know that.
yeah, even fire engines, bro. Fire engines. Uh,
Huh?
uh,
How about a Fed car, bro?
yeah. So yeah, we would just buy them, but we buy them from the UK, we buy them from Germany, left and right.
How much is an ambulance?
Well, back then you could like, it depends in it how good what you're looking for, but from like 7K all the way up to like 20K.
Okay, so you're raising what, hundreds of grands,
Yeah,
basically.
we would raise a couple of hundred K a pop. A one convoy would be minimum. I mean, that first one was small. That was only 11 ambulances. So if you say 11 ambulances that average 10K, that's 100K there. Plus, let's just say 10K aid in each vehicle. Bro, the Muslim
Right.
Ummah is giving, bro. When they do you going to
Wow.
help in Palestine, people give. Do you know what I mean? So that small one was probably about 200K. But the one we done after that was 100 ambulances, bro. 100 ambulances.
What? 100 ambulances?
Yeah, 100 ambulances.
So hold on. So when you go there, do you then drive the ambulances back?
No, we give it to them. They keep it in it.
Okay.
So then we would fly that.
Wow. Okay, you fly
But
back.
the whole,
so you go there.
So the whole aim is like for Gaza, the Israelis, they bomb the ambulances, innit? They bomb the hospitals. So they would need ambulances, they would need medical equipment. So
Of
what we
course,
do
that
is
makes
we buy
sense, yeah.
it, we drive it all the way there, and then basically give it to them, let them keep it, go to Egypt, fly back to the UK.
Okay.
So that's what it was, just a repetitive cycle. So then we
Right.
started doing that for Syria.
Right.
And so, yeah, after the first convoy that I went on, I just saw the situation. I was like, how can I leave, man? These people are...
Don't we break down the actual situation? What are you seeing in Syria? What's going on?
So we get to Syria. People are fleeing towards the borders. They're running for their lives. Like they are, there's a crazy war going on. Barrel bombs are falling. Cluster bombs are falling. This guy's got, and you see the helicopters. You'd see planes coming and just spraying people up. There's lots of videos that we got out there where you see us where a place gets bombed, we'll go in. We were like first responders. So instead of going back, we started using the ambulances to basically do ambulance work. We were basically paramedics. So we would do civil defense work. As soon as a building would get hit, we would go there with the ambulances, start taking all the rubble out, pulling people out from the rubble, taking them to the ambulances. So obviously this had a big impact on my life. Obviously it's like pulling babies out from the rubble, kids out from the rubble. That had a profound impact on my life. And so I was like, how can I leave? I'm good, I'm fit, I'm healthy. I would be a coward if I left these people like this. You know what I mean? And so I stayed. I pulled my wife. I said, listen, get ready. You're coming on the next convoy to Syria. We started organizing the next convoy, and I'm in Syria. Went to the UK for 3 days. Drove about 30 ambulances back, and then I stayed.
Right. That phone call with your wife, is she like reluctant, or is she just down with it?
Nah, she was down, bro. She was annoyed at me because I didn't take her on the first one. I was like, listen.
Wow.
I was like, listen, let me go on the first one. Let me just...
That's a real one right there, bro.
Yeah, she's a real one, mashallah. She's a real one.
Okay. And then kind of psychologically, how is that when you're out there and you're seeing this kind of bad stuff with your own eyes and witnessing it firsthand?
So you see, I think if I didn't have Islam, I wouldn't be able to kind of reconcile what's going on. But I think when you're a believer and you understand that God is using a people to test the people, there's a verse in the Quran that says that God uses a group of people to test a group of people. So what I believe is that the people that are going through all of these difficulties in life, when it comes to the day of judgment, majority of these people are going to paradise, right? Whereas us who lived lives of luxury, we're gonna have a lot to be accountable for. Does that make sense?
Right.
And unfortunately, you see, like we live in a time where there's so much opulence and so much greed, and you got on one side people living in lavish luxury, and then right next to them, people are living in adverse poverty. And so, I just think that, you can't see that and be the same person. You cannot see children die and being murdered and not stand for those children. And so that's basically what happened. We ended up staying.
So you're there, you stay there, and then you ask for the second convoy to come, and is that the 100 ambulances?
That one, I think the second one was about maybe 40 or 50 ambulances.
Okay, and you're just giving aid where you can, and you're going into these war zones. And how kind of important is it for you to be documenting it? Because you do start documenting it and kind of showing the world what's going
We
on.
became very high profile because we were some of the, myself as a English speaking Brit on the ground, and there was another brother called Bilal the Kareem. He's a American Muslim journalist. You could say we were the two most prominent English voices on the ground in the beginning of the Syrian revolution. So we were filming literally for everyone, for BBC, ITV, Channel 4. They were doing interviews with us. They were showing us in like in places that, like, I was in a hospital once. Hospital got bombed while I was inside the hospital. So that footage went out there. Yeah, loads that we covered a hell of a lot in the beginning of the revolution.
Is there times where you thought it's over for me? Like, this is my time.
There was a couple of times I thought, that's it, I'm done. It's over. I've been in a building once where everybody died and I'm the only one who walked out alive.
Really?
Yeah, so the building got hit by airstrike. Literally, I was the only guy that walked out alive. Well, actually, one other guy, he was on the top floor. He got flung out the building, landed on the pavement outside, and he survived with minor injuries. Just me and him survived. Everyone else got killed.
Wow. And then when that type of stuff happens, does that just make you more stronger then in your belief? Or
Yeah, 100% in it, because like you're like, God doesn't want me to die, innit? There's no reason why I shouldn't be dead right now, except for the fact that Allah wants me to be alive. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a purpose, so I need to continue doing what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
that just makes you more. And when you see death, bro, like you see, when I was in the UK, even when I was on the roads, you know, like some of us, we think you're bad man, innit? Yeah, so and so got killed, but you don't really see death, bro. That's not death. That's like, yeah, you know, one of your brethren's got. I don't want to like lower people's, you know,
I know what you mean.
I don't want to lower their what do you call it? I don't want to make it out that it's nothing, that your brethren got killed or whatever on road or whatever, but it's not the same as when you're in a war zone and people are getting killed all around you. You go and, you know, you take a child out of the rubble and his whole family's being killed, and that 5-year-old child is the only one left. Do you know what I mean? It changes your perspective on life. You know what I mean? Like, death doesn't become abstract anymore. It becomes like bro, I've buried 40 people in one day, bro. One day I've got a video which I can't ever put out nowhere. I've got 13 dead bodies in the back of my truck, bro. And I'm by myself. I'm by myself. Do you know what I mean? So these kind of things, like, when you see that and you understand that death is very real, you start thinking, okay, I need to prepare for death. My life needs to be about the next life. Okay, I'm definitely gonna die. Like, what's common between me and Shizzio? Like, we're both definitely gonna die. You can't say to me, I'm never gonna die. Do you know what I mean? So why wouldn't we prepare for that thing that is certain, that is guaranteed? Does that make sense? And so what we believe is that you got to rack up as many good deeds as you can. Like, racking up peas ain't gonna do nothing for you in your grave. Do you know what I mean? It's only those good deeds that are gonna be of benefit and have any value. And so,
Can I ask, in a way, does it make you numb when you see do you get used to it? I hate to say that term, but when you see kind of so much bad and then people dying, is there part or a time where you just become numb to it?
in some ways, yes, you do. And that can be bad for certain people. But I think you have to build mechanisms to kind of deal with things. Like, alhamdulillah, we ride horses. I always say Allah sent me horses. So horses are one of the ways that I kind of, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll go ride a horse. If I'm feeling sad, I'll go, sit with a different horse. Do you know what I mean? So, and so you just got to find mechanisms to deal with it, sort of thing. You do become numb. You kind of, it just becomes part of life, innit?
you do your work, you're still working out there, and then it appears more of your family come over, like your nephew, I think I've seen, and kind of close family members come and join you.
Yeah, so
Is
basically my sister came out after a year. So she was like adamant that she wanted to come out. So
okay.
she came out in 2013. I came out in 2012. She came out in 2013. And so she came, which is a bit kind of mad, but she came out with her 6 kids.
6 kids?
6 young kids. She came out to Syria.
Okay, for you as an older brother, would you not say to her, sis, I got this. Just you control whatever is needed there. Do you get what I'm saying? I hear you, sis, but stay there.
So like we kind of said that, but basically she had been dealing with her own trauma. Her husband got killed, so she was
Right.
dealing with her own trauma. So she wanted to come out. It was supposed to be for a short while, just to help like women in the refugee camps on the borders. But then she just ended up staying as well. And there was a massive role for her. Obviously, my 6, my 3 nieces and my 3 nephews, they basically grew up in a war zone. So obviously, one of them has gone back now. He's in the UK. AJ, I think the one that you met, and he's doing well. In all honesty, I think that you know what, their upbringing here was very beneficial for them because they got to understand life. You know what I mean? And they got to understand how to help people. And you know what? We don't have to worry about them. Hopefully, being a roadman or going on road or you know what I mean, shot.
Yeah, but there's different worries, bro. You're saying that like roadman, but there's like bombs over your head, bro. It's very. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Like,
but perspective.
there's real threats.
Like perspective is different, isn't it? Like, do you want like me now, seeing everything that I've seen? I would not want my child. I would rather my child pass away doing something honorable, helping people, saving people, than die getting stabbed as a roadman in England. Do you know what I mean? On road.
Yes, but can you understand the possibilities of getting stabbed are significantly less, perhaps, than going to an actual war
Not
zone?
really, bro. Not really. Look at the stats of London, bro. Look at
I hear.
look at the statistics, and you'll be like, actually, you know what? London's a pretty dangerous place to live these days.
So can you honestly say that it's safer to be in a Syrian war zone than it is in London?
Look, I think safety is relative, bro. And I think this is what a lot of people find difficult to comprehend, right? Allah says in the Quran that even if you're in tall, built-up towers, that death is going to find you. Do you understand? Bro, there's people that left Syria. They left Syria, escaping the war. They went to the UK and they died in Grenfell, bro. They died getting burnt alive at Grenfell Tower, bro. Imagine that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you see this idea of safety. This is not really we believe in a principle of tawakkul, that you trust in God. Do you understand? And so, like I said, when you're being courageous for the sake of God, it's not going to show on your lifespan. When I'm going to die, bro. And I know that's really hard for people to understand.
No, I get it, but I have to give both sides of the coin here, because I know what people are going to be saying in the comments. I understand it, but to take children out there and effectively knock on death's door, do you get what I'm saying? And say, right, this is a war zone.
Check it out. They're all alive. They've all had their education. Some of them are coming back to the UK now to study. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing their thing, man. And they're very if you ever meet any of my nieces and nephews, you will find that they are very, very mature. If you compare them to like a 16-year-old, for example, in the UK, it's night and day, bro. It's night and day.
No, I hear it. Okay, you're out there, you're doing this aid work, right? Do you not want to come back and just do the back and forward thing? When is that point where you're like, I'm just going to stay here?
Bro, to be honest, yeah, it just that, bro, the war was in full force and it just, things were just moving too fast. So in the beginning, I was coming in and out of Turkey, bringing aid in and out, and we had people that were doing a lot of the stuff in the UK. And yeah, I only went back once. Like I said, I went back once to get my wife for 3 days, and that's it. I came back, and then it was just non-stop after that. In the early days, there was no time to think about going back. It was just like, it was just, this is happening, that's happening, this place is getting attacked, this place is getting bombed, we need to take aid here. And it was, I mean, even now, it's going to sound crazy, but I look back at them times and I miss it, bro. Those times were just pure. Those times were just It would just,
That's the adrenaline junkie in you coming out, bro.
yeah, maybe.
You to curb that guy, bro.
Maybe.
Is it safe to say, obviously, you've saved lives? Are you aware how many lives you've saved throughout this process?
I mean,
Could you put that into a number?
I don't really like to say stuff like that, you know.
I know, but
We ask Allah to accept our good deeds in it, because we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know if God's gonna accept anything from us. Do you know what I mean? We hope and we pray that, you know, God keeps us sincere and accepts it, and it's sincerely for Him. Do you know what I mean? Not for for our own egos or for, you know,
Oh, of
or for
course.
anything else. So yeah, Alhamdulillah, we've been a part of, you know, saving a lot of lives. Allah has blessed us to be in a position where we've had that. I always say, look, today people are in need, but tomorrow you might be in need. Do you understand? And so we're very fortunate where we're in a position that all these years God's blessed us to be able to help other people. Do you know what I mean? And not need help. So yeah, man, it's just one of those things where, like, yeah, a lot of like there's been a lot of cases, bro. Like look, someone saved my life, bro. You see when I got stabbed? See when I was
Right.
lying there on the road in Warrior Square? One sister, may Allah bless her, I still make dua for her till today. She came down from the estate, took her jacket off, and she wrapped it around me, and she was holding it down. Do you know what I mean? So she saved my life. You know what I mean? May Allah bless her. May Allah give her a piece of a reward of all of the work that I do out here. Do you know what I mean? I would never forget that. So it's
But it is fair to say you saved thousands of lives. I'm saying it. You don't have to say it.
God knows, isn't it? God knows.
Are there any kind of saving of lives that really stick out in your mind?
Any stories that really stick out in my mind? Oh yeah, I'll tell you a story. Funny story. So one time I remember we were the first responders at a airstrike, and it hit a building, and basically when an airstrike hits a building, when the explosion goes off, if you get there in the really early period, you can't see nothing because it's just a crazy dust cloud. You're just going in the direction of the blast, but you don't know exactly where the blast is because it's just a massive dust cloud. There's debris and dust flying everywhere. And so in that dust cloud, everything goes this gray color, right? So you're covered
Right.
in gray, everything, the buildings, the streets, everything is gray. And so I don't know if you ever watched a movie called Schindler's List in
No, I heard of it. It's the black and white one,
it's
right?
a black and white. So the whole movie is black and white, except for it's basically a Holocaust movie. They make you watch it in school, right? History. And the whole movie is black and white, except for a little girl. She's wearing a red jacket.
Okay.
And so basically, in the end of the thing, she dies, and the red jacket's on the floor, and it's really sad. Yeah, okay. And obviously, we don't support any genocide, not the genocide of Jews, not the genocide of any people. Genocide. We're all about people. You know what I mean? Humanity.
Of course.
So that scene played out in front of me. How? We get to the scene. When we get there, the dad, the guy's name was Muawiyah. He had just gone out to get some bread. And when he's come back, his house has been hit. So he's arrived on the scene the same time as us. So imagine now his kids and his wife are in that building. So we start digging. He's going mad. He's digging. And so slowly, one by one, we start pulling his kids out. One comes out dead. The next one comes out dead. The next one comes out dead. And I remember every time we would take out one of his children that was passed away, I passed him one of his daughters, and he put her over his shoulder. And as he's walking towards the pickup truck where the rest of his kids are passed away, I just saw a red streak come down his black. Everything is gray. The whole image is gray. And this red streak of blood just came from her forehead down his shoulder. And it was just so vivid. Even till today, that image is so vivid in my mind. And it reminds me of that movie. So anyway, alhamdulillah, obviously, it's very sad because 7 of his children died that day. But we managed to pull out his wife and one of his children alive. And the crazy thing about that airstrike was a coalition airstrike. That was an American Tomahawk Hellfire missile, like the one that hit the Iranian girls' school in Iran a couple of days ago. And so,
Right.
because we were there on the scene, we managed to get together the fragments of the Tomahawk missile, and
Right.
we put that out there in the media. In the beginning, the Americans did not claim that they done the bombing, but eventually they did. And this brother, alhamdulillah, we managed to get him a big payout in compensation, which is nothing. I mean, what's
Oh, great.
a few $100,000 in comparison to, 7 of your children getting unalived? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one story that sticks out in my mind. But there's a lot of stories like that. Like I could tell where we've.
Are you kind of worried of being a target because you are providing these kind of news sources that perhaps would be swept under the carpet?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've been targeted by different people. Different people have tried to kill me. From them, ISIS. From them, the Bashar regime. I've had, I've had a IED put under my car blown up. I survived. I've had a Jeep.
What, as in you started the car and it blew up?
I did. I was lucky. I didn't drive the car.
Right.
So someone else started a car, and again they survived as well. They got lucky. So the reason why they got lucky is because that basically, again, being a Brit kind of saved us. That car was from the UK, so it was a right-hand drive.
Volvo, hella
So
strong.
they put the bomb under the left-hand side because all the cars, all the drivers in Syria drive on the left-hand side. So it was a left-hand drive car. They put the IED on the left-hand, the left, or what they thought was the driver's side. So when my brethren, when he drove the car, that side blew up and he survived with minor injuries.
Wow. But then when you know you're actively being targeted, is that not a call for you to go, right, perhaps we should just ease off for a bit, go back, chill out, and then come again? Do you get what I'm saying?
Nah, not really. Not really. Bro, I was targeted on road, bro. When you're on road and you're being targeted, you're like,
Bruv, you keep going back to the stabbing incident, and as much as I get it, I kind of don't get it. I gotta be honest here. I get, like, they're not the same thing. You kind of equating the two, where it appears in Syria there's a lot more going on than here. I don't know. You just
so it's like,
seem to have
so it's like this here. When you're on road, you got ops here. When you're in Syria,
Yes.
you got ops. It's the same.
Yes, but these ops have got rockets,
same-
bombs,
it's the same thing, innit?
IEDs, airstrikes. It's not the same thing, bro. What's this guy, bro? This guy is so flexible. I mean, is there not a time where your wife or your kids say, "Listen, enough's enough"?
Yeah, of course. There's been those times where people, obviously, like when things were going mad like that. There's times that obviously you got to take in Islam as well. You got to take your asbab. You got to take your precaution. Like we're not just go out there and be mad, right? But obviously, this is something I've spoken about in the media. I've always been armed. Do you understand? And
Right.
the West has always had an issue with a Muslim aid worker being armed. And I'm like, well, I am going to be armed. I am going to have a strap. And I am going to, if I'm delivering aid in places that are very dangerous, then I'm going to carry a weapon. And so,
I would have thought that's obvious.
yes, I've always been very open about that. But there seems to be a massive double standard when it comes down to you being a Muslim and carrying a weapon. Do you understand? So,
Right.
So my thing is that Donald Trump, MAGA, they're all pro gun. You know what I mean? So I'm pro gun too. Especially, we had a British doctor come out here. You can search him up. His name's Dr. Abbas Khan. This guy was a hero. He came out here and saved lives as well. He ended up taking a wrong turn in Aleppo, ended up in the regime side. They tortured him to death. And then his mom came from the UK, flew out to the regime side, and they gave his body back full of torture, right? And so it was a dangerous place. Like we knew that at the end of the day, if we are going to help these people, that we're going to have to defend ourselves. And so I've been very candid about that. That yes, I've fought. Yes, I've carried a weapon, and I don't shy away from that. I don't think that's something to be afraid of.
What is the current state over there?
The current state over there now is that things are way, way calmer. I mean, it's crazy because people are talking about Dubai. Come to Dubai, Habibi. But who would have thought?
I was in Dubai, Habibi. Oh my God.
Who would have thought now that currently the safest place in the Middle East is Syria? There's no bombing going in. Jordan's getting bombed. Dubai, Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi, everywhere's getting bombed.
Right.
Syria's not getting bombed right now. Lebanon's getting bombed. So things are kind of calm. Obviously, after liberation, We've reached Damascus, taken over most of the country. So things are good, man. Things are on the up. A lot of people are coming now, visiting the country, seeing the work that we've done over the last, 15 years. And, the projects that we've built with all of their donations. So in that respect, things are very calm. Things are looking good for the Syrian people. And there's a long way to go. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. But, things are looking better than they were before.
So where are you now?
Right now, I'm in Aleppo.
Right. That is it the Turkish side?
No. This is Syria, bro. This is...
No, but the rule, like, are they? Because I was watching your documentary the other day.
That was
might-
pre-liberation.
Right.
Now, after November 2024, since
Right.
the rebels took over and Bashar ran away to Russia, now all of it
Mm.
is controlled by one Syrian government.
Right.
Yeah.
You're on camera saying thank you, Trump. Do you still feel the same way?
No, that was just me being, that was just banter, innit? That was just me being very like...
Well, I could take that footage and clip it, but
Yeah, that was just me being sarcastic, innit? Obviously, you can't... I mean, Trump is insane. You know what I mean? Trump is insane.
Yeah.
Like, what do we want to say about Donald Trump here? Donald Trump is someone that is... He's in the Epstein files, man. You know what I mean?
allegedly, don't get me cancelled, bro.
Allegedly.
You get what I'm saying? What is the thought over there? The general consensus about Trump, is it the same as kind of your views?
Yeah, so look, obviously, concessions have been made. The government right now has made deals with America. Like, these things are known, innit? Like, at the end of the day, people understand that there's politics at play, but people also are not like, what's the word? They're not stupid, innit? They understand that obviously the Middle East for certain countries is all about resources. So one day, certain countries may be your allies, but tomorrow they may be fighting you. So it's one of those things where things are good for now. We'll enjoy it while it's good, and try and help the people, continue helping the people as much as we can.
Okay, so then let's talk about this UK sit thing. Why have they taken away your citizenship? When did you first get wind of that? Break that down for us, please.
So I got a letter to my house in 2017. Get a letter to my house. My dad printed me up one day. He says, "Son, I got some bad news." I'm like, "What?" Sends me a photo of this letter. And so I get sent this letter. I look at it and I'm like, "Raw, that's mad." I didn't really understand it. So got on the phone to Cage. They're a human rights organization that, deals with a lot of prisoners around the world. That they help a lot of different people when it comes to specifically anti-terror legislation. So looked at it, and it basically said, I am being deprived of my citizenship because I'm aligned to a group that is aligned to Al-Qaeda, right? And so I was like, that's mad. What does that even mean? So obviously, by default, that means the government was saying that I'm not ISIS. They were saying that I'm not Al-Qaeda. They were saying that I'm not even part of a group that's aligned to Al-Qaeda. Like, it's like 4 degrees of like separation. Do you know what I mean? So it was just so loosely worded. So I had 14 days to appeal it. We were in court for like 2 years. Like I said, we had anonymity on my case for 2 years. 2019, we launched a public press campaign where we called it, "Are We Really British?" And so that's
Right.
I spoke on the BBC. Again, I got to rate the UK as well, that someone like me who's seen as, enemy of the state. Everyone's seen Will Smith's movie, yeah?
Yeah.
And they would let me come on primetime TV on the BBC and be critical of the state. You got to rate that about, the West and Britain. So yeah, I spoke. I said, this is racist. The only reason why I'm being deprived is because my parents are Pakistani. Do you understand? And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight, that there's a 2-tier system, that someone like you, Shizzio, because your heritage is not that of being ethnically British, you can be like, if you go and do a crime, let's just say you go and you're caught with, I don't know, 10 keys of Class A drugs, you could be stripped of your citizenships, yeah? But Johnny or Michael won't. That, I believe, is very un-British. And I believe that's, that just shows that there's inherent racism within, you know, British law as it stands at the moment. And so I think there's a lot of good people in Britain that are against this and they see that it's wrong. But unfortunately, we've got coconuts like Priti Patel and Rishi Sunak that are pushing this kind of stuff. Sajid Javid, these kind of people are the poster boys.
Sorry, what I don't get is, right, if you're stripped of your citizenship, then they think you're a criminal. You've done something wrong, i.e., right?
So basically, what the British government did, and I understand this because there was a rise of ISIS. Like, I'm not gonna be like I don't understand why they did it. There was a rise of ISIS in Syria, right? And obviously, me, I'm a person that was publicly against ISIS. They tried to kill me. That's a whole story. We didn't cover that. Maybe we'll come back to that. But I had one of my ops was ISIS, bro. Do you understand?
Man said my ops was ISIS. Sorry,
these-
bro. You make me laugh at the way you talk, bro.
These men were trying to kill me, bro. Do you understand? These men were calling me. I've got voice recordings of these men threatening me. Do you understand? Trying to kill me, trying to stalk me for money. Like it was a madness. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I understand that the Britain didn't want a lot of these people that had been radicals, whatever, and of matter that they didn't want them to come back. And so what they did, Amber Rudd at the time, she just signed off anyone that's in Syria, citizenship squad. So it was a blanket decision. Now, obviously, in hindsight, they're looking at it, and obviously they know that's wrong. Even there's people in Parliament now that are speaking about it. That they understand that it's wrong because you've got a lot of people that are stateless in effect. It's not really constitutional. So what happened with my case is basically they wanted to take my case to something called you're probably never even gonna have heard of this, and most of your viewers most people in the UK don't even know that we have something in the UK they call secret courts. They're called SIAC, PSIAC courts, secret courts. So in those courts, basically, you get judged. You're not allowed to see the evidence that is being submitted against you. Your lawyers can't see the evidence that's being submitted against you. And there's no jury, and you have to defend yourself, right?
Right.
So you have to basically say, the reason why I don't think instead of being innocent until proven guilty, you're basically guilty until proven innocent, right?
Right.
So you have to basically say, okay, I think that you guys think I'm a terrorist because of this incident or, so I was like, okay, what happened? Did I walk into a butcher's shop or a barber's and there was an ISIS guy there? Like, why am I being, and you're not even saying I'm ISIS. You're not even saying I'm al-Qaeda. Like, I don't even know what I've done. Do you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
So, we fought in court for 2 years. Eventually, we got to a point where we decided to boycott the SIAC courts because what I had a choice out of was going to these courts where basically the odds are stacked up against me. I'm basically going to lose. If I lose that case, then I'm a convicted terrorist. If I boycott the case, then I'm just a stateless guy, basically. So right now, I'm not convicted of any crime. I'm not a criminal. I'm not convicted of any crime. I've just basically been deprived of my citizenship. I'm not wanted on Interpol. That's why all media can do media with me. That's why everybody can, there's going to be no harms to you for doing this podcast. BBC,
Yeah, allow me.
Anyone talking to you, because I'm not a criminal. I'm not convicted of any.
Right. But then can't you go to a normal court? Why does it have to be this undercover court?
Because that's unfortunately that these terrorism laws, one, are racist, but they're also very unfair. So what's happening now is a bit crazy because what's even happened now is, so you see the government that is in charge of Syria now, basically they were actually aligned to Al-Qaeda.
Right.
So they were a group that were part of Al-Qaeda and then they basically left Al-Qaeda, right? And now Britain has made ties with them and squashed their beef with them. So David Lack, the foreign minister, he met the president, whatever. He's cool. They took them off the terrorist list.
Right.
So by default now,
isn't that good for you?
Yeah, that's basically good for you. So basically all the groups, even I wasn't even a part of that group. The mad thing is I wasn't even a part of that group. Yeah. But all the groups that were aligned, so-called aligned to AQ, have now been taken off the terrorism lists.
Right.
So technically, I should, be able to re-raise my case. The goal is that we wanna take it to European courts probably. So we're looking at what best way is to do this. But you never know. Like I said to you, bro, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Before the president, Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, Ahmed al-Shara of Syria, before he was a terrorist to the UK and America and to Trump. Now they love him. So it's a
Do you know
bad
what it
one.
is? My only point of reference, because I'm not educated in this enough, is Babar Ahmed, who's been on this show, and he I don't know if you're aware with Babar Ahmed,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
holds the record for longest in prison with no trial. But he was breaking down how kind of the government can just change on you in an instant and make you the enemy of the state.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
In essence, that's what they could do, right? And
Yeah. How kind of hopeful are you that you can get over this?
to be honest, now after liberation, like for me, in all honesty, if I get my passport back, great. If I don't, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to help people. As long as I could keep helping people,
And you're still doing
and I'm
that.
still doing that. You know what I mean? We've got a big organization. We look after orphans, widows. We do equine therapy. We've got so much going on. So as long as
And
I
this
can
is from Dole Nation still. They're just coming in.
say again.
Is this from your donations? Are they
Yeah,
still
yeah,
coming
we've
in?
still got loads of
Um,
people supporting us. We have deployments coming. I invite you to come out on deployment. Come give out some
Come
food
on.
boxes yourself. See the destruction. See some of the work we're doing. And yeah, anyone else that wants to come out can fundraise as well. We work with registered charities and see the work firsthand. Like fuel, I think for any person that's watching this or anyone, that it's important to see people that are not as what's it called, blessed as yourself. You know, people that are living in, you know, whenever you see someone that is in worse conditions, because sometimes a lot of people, if you're living in a council estate or you're living in the end, sometimes you might think, you know, you're living in the worst situation. But when you go and visit people in this dunya, in this world, you realize, raw man, we really got it easy, man. And some people got it really tough. So we got a lot to be thankful for. So I always encourage people and say, come out, see the work, give stuff with your own hands. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And see what that means to people. Um,
What about the status of your family, your kids, your wife? Are they in the same boat as you?
nah, they were good.
So they can, in theory, come back to the UK.
Yeah, so Raquel, my wife, she's got a passport, so she might come back. My kids are all eligible for UK passports.
Right.
But it's just,
Is that something that you want for them?
yeah, I'd like them to come back. I want them to see England. I want them to see a developed country. I want them to possibly study there. Yeah,
Right.
I would want that. I mean, that's their right. But
So could you not send them back in theory sooner?
potentially, but I mean, at the moment, like I said, we again, like we've got a. I think you see, the life that we live, I think, is a different type of education, and you can't pay for
Right.
that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
State school. Look, a lot of people are homeschooling their children now. Do you understand?
Mm.
Because I don't want my child to be a robot. I don't want my child to just be, you know, memorizing out of a book. I want my child to be a citizen of this world. I want my children. I've got 10 kids, by the way. I want my children to
Oh,
be,
wow.
I want them to be people that are going to make this place a better world. And so
Right.
the work that they're doing, they see it every day. Like we live, like right now, we live in a refugee camp. Do you understand?
Right.
So we live in amongst the people. So it's like you can't get a better education than that.
Mm. So then, do you want to come back then? Because you're kind of saying you like it there. It's good for you in many ways. Is your end goal to return back to the UK?
My end goal is not to return back to the UK. I mean, I would, of course, my citizenship, that's a part of me. I believe that is my right. That's a human right, that I should not be stripped of my citizenship. So I will fight for it till the end. Would I come back and I don't think personally I could come back and live a normal life. Like if I had the opportunity to go to Sudan right now and help the people there, I would. If I had the opportunity to go to the next war zone, I would. Do you understand? Like I would like to come back, maybe speak about my experiences. If I could do things that would inspire people, yes. Meet some of my family, of course. Like there's some of my family that I've never seen before. I'd like to do all that, but reside in the UK, I don't think I could live that life anymore. I don't think I could live a 9 to 5.
So then some will say, what's the point of you getting your UK citizenship? What do you need it for?
What do I need it for? First of all, that's my right. That's my human right. At the end of the day, I was born in the UK. I'm a Brit through and through. Do you understand?
Mm.
So if Britain is a racist country that's only for white people, then fine. Say it. Come out publicly and say, all of you Pakis and all of you black people and all of you immigrants, get the hell out of our country, like Tommy Robinson said, which might happen soon, reform might come into power. Say it loud and proud, and then just kick everybody out. But time you're going to say that we are a multicultural country that, believes in diversity and all of these kind of things, then that's my right. And that's who I am. I like, at the end of the day, I would like to have my British passport so I can travel. I'd like to go to the UK so that I can do good things where I could, be a public speaker potentially and give talks in universities. Because that's what I used to do when I used to come back from Palestine. I used to go around to universities and give talks, talk about my experiences and stuff like that. Why not? But why should I be deprived of that just because I went out to help people? That doesn't make sense to me.
When you speak to your family about the UK, what kind of picture are they painting for you about how it is over here?
Yeah, so I mean, my family, a lot of them say that the UK has changed. It's a lot more difficult. People are struggling to get by. The cost of living is very, very, high. It's very difficult. And so that's what I hear a lot. You know what I mean? And so I think some part of the difficulty of the UK is that, because people are always trying to keep up with the latest trends. You got to have like a sick watch. You got to have a sick car. You got to have, nice trainers. Like, I think that puts a lot of pressure on a person. Whereas, when you're outside of all of that, like I remember I used to when I was back in the UK, GARMS, everything had to be color coordinated, this, that, you know what I mean? Different crepes, all of that. When I started practicing, alhamdulillah, it was easy, but I used to just wear a white fold, just chuck on a white fold, put some trainers on, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? You're out of all of that. You don't really care about those things. So a lot of the time, people are driving a car not because they really like that car, just because they want to show other people, and that's not the life you want to live. A lot of the time, people are doing stuff, sadly, to make other people happy, and they're not happy themselves. And that's the greatest lesson that I've learned. Like when you can be happy and content inside yourself, wherever you are, whether that's in a war zone, whether that's in England, whether that's in Dubai, wherever it is, then you found the key. You found the key. And I think you can only find that by being connected to God.
The UK is a very, how can I say it? There's a lot more hatred these days in the UK, very divisive. And I can just see the comments coming in now from people saying that keep him out there. He deserves everything he gets. Fuck him. I can just see it, bruv. Do you have a message for these people that will kind of want to spout hate your way and be like, you made your bed, you lie in it over there, mate?
Yeah, my message to these people is that, first of all, when you're going to be when you're going to be someone who always thinks that our people, if you think our people as in white people or black people, we are supreme, or even Asian people, everybody has this, sadly, in their communities where they have a group of people that think they are God's gift and they're the chosen ones and they're the best. Sadly, today we've got a group of people that, think they're the chosen ones that are doing the madness on the earth. But every community has this, right? And the reality is we all bleed the same blood. Nobody chose where they were going to be born. Nobody chose the color of their skin. Do you understand? This was something that was preordained. So if people find comfort in dividing themselves and saying we are the chosen ones at ABC, then they're going to live a very miserable life. But when I think one of the strengths of Britain and America is the fact that they have this diversity. If you look at like it's mad. If you look at the England football team, 3 lions on the shirt. You look at that team, it's diverse. What would England be without without Saka and without Trent and without some of these players? What would the American Olympic team? What would NBA be out without Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry and all these kind of people? So what I'm saying is that diversity brings a certain flavor, which I loved about the UK. London is amazing. Do you know what I mean? I love that. I wish many Muslim countries would be like that. I wish that sometimes that I'm like, when I'm talking, I'm not saying, oh, Muslims are the best and Muslim. Nah, some Muslim countries are mashed up. That a lot of the world, sadly, is messed up. Do you understand? And so my message to those people is that you gotta have love and you can't be haters. You know, when you
I
hate,
love
when
that.
you're a hater, you're just gonna end up a very sad, miserable person.
What do you really miss from the UK? There's certain foods or certain
Doner
things
kebab.
because you know, huh?
Doner kebab.
A doner kebab. Can't you get one from out there, bro?
Nah, they have shawarma, man. They got shawarma, which is nice, but they don't have a good doner kebab. Fish and chips. I miss a nice fish and chips. I
Yeah.
had a proper fish and chips in the last time I had a fish and chips was in Cyprus. I went to Cyprus and had a fish and chips.
Right. Cyprus is a good place.
Yeah, but that I can't travel now, innit? So that was early on, like I think 2014. I went out to Turkey, still had my passport. Then I went to Cyprus.
Right. So you can't travel anywhere.
No, not right now. Right now,
Wherever you go,
right now
they'll
I'm
just stop you.
besieged.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Shamima Begum should be allowed back in the UK?
I think she should, yeah. I know that's a very controversial. People hate her. I feel sorry for her because she's become a pariah. She was dumb in some of the things that she said, obviously, definitely. But she was a schoolgirl. Everybody knows that if she was a Madeleine McCann, she was a white little girl, dead, she would have been back in the UK already. You know Shamima Begum, because her lawyers are my lawyers as well now, right? And basically, she, in her last case, she won on every single point. She won on the fact that she'd been groomed. She won on the fact that even intelligence, there was intelligence that had been involved in recruiting her to ISIS. How mad is that? She was basically groomed, and then there was intelligence services that recruited her. The UK MI5 flipping knew, bro. It's a madness. And then all of this has happened, right? She should come back to the UK. She should face the law. I should face the law. If I've committed crimes, I'm happy to face the law.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't get. If your citizenship has been revoked, I'm trying to be fair here. That insinuates you've done something extremely wrong. In which case, come back and face the law. If you've done something wrong, we put you in prison.
That's the point. I can't come back.
I know. No, I'm just trying to say I don't understand why they revoke citizenships. Because if you've done something wrong, then you should come and face whatever it is. Do you get what I mean?
If I'm so dangerous, why are you just leaving me loose in the world? I'm big.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, sadly, it don't make no sense, but it is what it is. You never know, bro. You might see me back in IG1 sometime soon.
The back in the ends, doner kebab in one hand. Okay. So what does the future hold, sir?
Allah knows best, bro. I mean, we're just gonna carry on working like we are now working in Damascus. We're rebuilding. We're building football pitches, horse riding centers. We do a lot of sports therapy. So I've been a sportsman all my life. I played sports all my life. So
What do you play?
say again.
What do you play?
I used to play
What
football. I
sport?
used to play cricket. I used to everything, bro. Everything.
Free Imran Khan. Sorry, bro. Go on,
Yeah,
carry on.
free Imran Khan as well.
Right. So you're building this stuff. Go on,
But
carry
yeah,
on.
we do a lot of sports therapy, man, for a lot of the orphans. We teach them how to ride horses. We do archery. We got gyms. We do martial arts for the kids. So I love all of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? I love doing all that stuff where it's like youth work, innit? So it's helping a lot of these kids that ain't got dads. Their fathers or mothers were killed during the war. So we basically give them an outlet. You know what I mean? And so yeah, if I could carry on doing that till the end of my days, I'll be a happier man. You know what I mean?
And I see you very active on social media. Is that something that you want to carry on doing? Just kind of sending that message out?
You know what it is? I don't really like social media. Sometimes social media is problematic, but in order to raise funds, in order to stay relevant, you know what I mean, you got to be on social media, innit?
What is your stance on, because when people do charity work online, you get a lot of comments with people saying you shouldn't be posting that stuff online. What is your stance on that?
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that, look, at the end of the day, and you could say I'm a part of the problem. What's happened is, unfortunately, we live in an era where, cameras are everywhere. And so if you want to raise funds, you need to show what you're doing. And it's sad because you have to put a camera in people's faces at their lowest points. And that's not an ethical thing to do. That's not an Islamic thing to do. That's not a very nice thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And I wish we didn't have to do it. But sadly, the world that we live in is if you don't do that, no one's gonna support your project. They're gonna be like, you know what? I give it to so and so, and they give me a nice photo and a nice video at the end of it. What are you gonna give us?
Mm. How do you decide where the funds go to and like how much to allocate, etc.? So is that a choice that you make, or is it a group?
So we are very
decision?
project based. So we fundraise specifically for projects.
Right.
So we'll say, look, we're building this football academy in this camp. Who would like to support? This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much we're going to spend. All right, we're doing orphan sponsorships. We need this many 100 kids that need to be orphan. It's going to cost 40 quid a month. This is what it is. That's how we fundraise. So it's kind of transparent from the beginning in terms of what we're doing.
Well, I've got this thing where I've got AI to ask you some questions, but before I go to that, I need to address what is going on with you and Ali Dawah and Mohammed Hijab. Like the religion stuff online is something that I kind of stay away from because it feels like you can never get it right. There's always, unfortunately, people that have opinions, and it's become a place where I'm not about it, to be honest, bro. But can you please shine some light on what on earth is going on?
Yeah, so look, my thing is, look, I'm all about unity. Those guys are my brothers. I'll put my hand out there and say, look, those guys are my brothers. They do some really good work when it comes to some of the interfaith, discussing and, doing debates with, a lot of these kind of right-wing bigots and, some of these people that are outright racist, yeah?
Yeah.
But I just feel that somewhere down the line, they kind of lost their path a bit in terms of the way that they deal specifically with sisters, with women, in some cases. And also when it comes to masculinity, I think they would admit. I'm actually doing a podcast with Ali Dawah tomorrow. He's invited me onto his podcast.
Amazing. I love to hear that.
We're gonna talk it out. I'm known for being very frank and straightforward, and I think they would admit themselves there is a masculinity crisis in the West. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of where my issues stem from, is that, some of the things that you're doing and you're saying, you're claiming to be masculine, but then you're not really taking a masculine stance. Do you know what I mean? And that's problematic.
Could you have not reached out to them privately? I'll tell you why, bro. Because from the outside looking in, it just looks like a bunch of Muslims arguing with each other. Here we go. It just doesn't bode well. It doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I agree, bro. Look, we've had a lot of interaction behind the scenes. We've had a lot of interactions behind the scenes. And unfortunately, they were receptive on some things and then not receptive on other things. And look, it's one of those things where I believe some of the scholars in the UK, they should be more vocal on some of these issues. Because look, with Ali Dawah and with Hijab and with some of the other guys, I don't think that they are bad intention. But at the end of the day, they have to recognize now that they are people that are representing the religion. And one thing I always say is, look, Muslims, even me, bro, I'm not perfect. Muslims are not perfect. But Islam, I believe Islam is the perfect religion. So now you're going to come out here as an ambassador of the religion. You can't be doing stuff that is like, you know what I mean? Like some of the stuff I don't like is coming online and cussing sisters' looks and all of this kind of stuff. And you can't be berating sisters like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not befitting of a Muslim man to behave in that manner. Do you understand? So that's kind of some of the issues. There's quite a few issues there. Some of it is about condemning, like one of my issues with hijab was about condemning the Palestinian resistance. I think that's a very weak position. People like low key, there's loads of people that come on Piers Morgan and haven't condemned the resistance. Like, I don't believe that we should be condemning the resistance at all. That gives rise for narratives, that weakens the resistance. It's a problem. Who are you to condemn the resistance? Do you understand? So don't come out there and be like, yeah, I'm a bad man, I'm a big man, and you know what I mean? But then at the same time, your opinion is, but your stance is very weak.
But can you understand it's effectively you're walking on landmines when you're kind of tackling this kind of topic, and you're always going to get people that don't agree with you and have a different vantage point and a stance. And kind of, for me, it just seems like, can you ever get it right?
So look, one thing I would say on that point, I'd say a couple of things. Yes, the first thing I would say is that one of the beautiful things about Islam, right? And look, people in other religions are noticing this, right? Is that there is a lot of scrutiny when it comes to the religion. And that's a positive because look, people think twice when they insult the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. People think twice when it comes to Islam because they know that people are like, they believe in it with a passion and do you understand? They're not going to let those things slide. Sadly, when you look at religions like Christianity, why are people like Andrew Tate not the best example, but they left Christianity because they saw that, look, people are not even defending your own religion. Do you understand? You're just doing blasphemy openly. You have no care for your own religion anymore, right? Where people can openly slate Jesus and peace be upon him, and no one's gonna say nothing. So with Islam, you see that level of standard that we hold. I believe it's good. I believe even if Mohammed Hijab or Ali Dawah or anyone else, even yourself tomorrow, came out and said, Tox, you're supposed to be representing charity work and you're supposed to be, you know, as a Muslim doing ABC. And you know what? You shouldn't be doing this. I'd say, you know what? That is good. We need to G-check each other. Do you know what I mean? Islam is about that, bro. Do you understand? I'm like, you're my brother. If I really got love for you, I ain't gonna let you do a madness. I'm gonna G-check you. I'm gonna say, listen, bro, what you're doing is haram. You can't be doing that. And so that's one part of it. The other part of it, which is very beautiful, is that there's something called difference of opinion in Islam. So there is room for us to have a difference of opinion. So what you will see that tomorrow, me and Ali will probably go at it, right? But at the same time, we're gonna be very cordial. We're still brothers at the end of the day. It's not arms house. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that. And I think those two things are very beautiful about Islam. One, we hold a high standard that this is the religion. You can't start doing madness. You can't say that I'm gonna pray 10 times. I'm gonna pray 4 times. There's only 4 prayers in a day. Or, you know what I mean? You can't start making stuff up. So yeah, these two things, bro, that high standard is important. And then difference of opinion in a cordial manner is also good. Like you're gonna have people in the comments about people that are insulting, whatever. But then there's people that really resonate with it. I'm saying to all the people, listen, me and Ali are brothers. At the end of the day, we're still brothers. I don't want anyone insulting or doing any of that madness. You're gonna get blocked. Do you know what I mean? If you want to have a discussion, we're good to have a discussion. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where it is. It's all love. Do you know what I mean? It's coming from a good place.
Do you know what it is? I think you can be cordial and G-check someone not on public social media. That's where I suppose I'm coming from. Because it looks from the outside, there's a lack of unity, there's a lack of understanding. These brothers that are meant to be knowledgeable, etc., even they're clashing. Do you get what I'm saying? And then it trickles down. That's what I'm trying to...
It's always gonna be like that, bro. Look, in the absence of like proper hierarchy in the Muslim world, it's always gonna be like that, unfortunately, until, you know what I mean, things change. But look, even these kind of discussions all throughout Islamic history, there's been times where people have, discussed in private, but then there's times where scholars have disagreed, and we're nobodies, bro, but scholars have disagreed publicly, you know what I mean, on issues. And the most important thing, like I said, that's what I'm letting you know, and inshallah, I'll let him know that we know it's all love, it's coming from a good place. That look, we want to make sure that, like, you wish for your brother what you wish for yourself, yeah. Like, so now, I want to make sure that they're following the deen properly as I understand it. And if I'm wrong, then hopefully I hope that they will convince me and bring me to their side, to what they think is right. And then sometimes the beauty about Islam is both of you can be right. There's certain things that is clear cut. There's no discussion on it. But there's certain things where there is room to have a discussion, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
No, it's nice that you're going to speak to him and all of that, because it wasn't... That's nice. I'm very glad to hear that. You brought up Andrew Tate. I might as well ask you thoughts on Tate whilst we're here.
Tate is a symptom to a larger problem, innit, bro? Tate is a...
Elaborate on that, please.
So, look, when you're living in an over hyper-sexualized society, a capitalist society, where money and sex is just, promoted in your face, you're gonna get people like Andrew Tate, that have lived that life, have been through all of that, have some kind of epiphany in their life, and are trying to find a different path. a lot of Muslims, when he came to Islam, they were happy that he came to Islam. Obviously, it seems like he's fallen off a bit now. He's promoting gambling, this and that. You know, one thing I'd always say to people, you know, one thing that's different between Muslims and Christians is that Muslims don't believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe that we're guaranteed paradise. You know, like I could be sitting here acting all pious and saying what I'm saying, but if God doesn't accept any of my deeds, I'm going to hellfire. Do you understand? And so it's one of those things where we're all on our journey and we're all trying to be better people. Does that make sense? Tate, I think Tate's problematic because he's so high profile and anything that he says can be very dangerous, especially when it comes to things that he's saying about women, when it comes to things that he's saying about, you know, other religions. You know, but that's the day and age we live in, right? You know, you say crazy things, you build an audience.
How much of that social media world is kind of apparent to you over there? Do you kind of check for it, or are you kind of happy to stay away from it all?
I mean, bro, we live in a globalized era, bro. It's crazy how you will find a kid in a war zone, in a refugee camp in Syria, and he knows about Messi and Ronaldo and KSI and Mr. Beast. Do you know what I mean? Look, you'd have a kid in a refugee camp and they'll have a phone and they'll have internet and they'll be watching Mr. Beast or they'll be watching KSI. So that globalization is everywhere, bro. It's everywhere. And that in some ways is a fitna. It's a big fitna. It's a big trial.
Looking back, do you have any regrets at all?
No.
Be honest.
Zero regrets, bro. Never live in regret, man. Always be optimistic.
Big facts. All right, listen, I'll do this thing where I put you in AI and AI has made some questions for you. So we probably covered them, but if you want to swerve them as well, yeah? The UK stripped your citizenship and labelled you a national security risk. What exactly do they believe you did? Covered that, haven't we?
Yeah.
You say you're a humanitarian, but critics say you fought with extremist group. Which version of the story is the truth?
I'm a freedom fighter for the people.
Covered that. Do you regret ever picking up a weapon in Syria, even if you believed it was for the right cause?
No, I don't regret. I'm strapped right now, bro. I'm strapped right now.
Allow it. Allegedly. If you could go back to 2012 before leaving the UK, would you still choose the same path?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Some people say you chased a war hero narrative. Were you helping people or chasing purpose?
100% chasing purpose. No one comes out to a war zone and chases war hero status, bro. Like, you could die at any moment. Like, that's not really, I mean, that would be a short-lived success.
What's the darkest thing you've witnessed during the Syrian war that still sits in your mind today?
I remember seeing a little girl. She was always sometimes comes in my mind. Hello Kitty. I don't even know her name. I just remember her coming into the hospital and she was wearing Hello Kitty pajamas. She'd been hit in an airstrike, I think in a house. She must have been sleeping. And basically her whole face was split open. So her face was just open like this. And she was just breathing and, you know, the blood was just gurgling and she just had no face, bro. And you could just see her eyes and the rest of her face was open. And yeah, that's one of the darkest things that I've seen.
And kind of, where are you with kind of PTSD trauma? Do you just lock these up in a box and never open them? How does one deal with this? Do you think there'll be a knock-on effect in years to come?
This is one thing.
I hope not, obviously, but
yeah,
this is the question.
One thing that me and my friend were talking about. We were saying that Alhamdulillah, up until now, we don't really have the effects of the trauma. But I think there's a few reasons for that. One is that we're always busy, keeping yourself busy for the sake, like you don't have time to just focus and think about these things. I think with me, when COVID happened, I got a bit sick and I was at home for about a week. I started getting depressed. So me, I just need to be, as long as I can be out there and helping people do my thing, I don't really dwell on these things. The other thing is you got to build mechanisms in your life. So like I said, I ride horses. We do equine therapy. So like we started with a rescue horse, you know, and we just built this whole project where we use horses to treat PTSD. And so that's been a healing for myself, to be honest. So that's been a big blessing as well.
You know what it is, when you kind of just say that one story alone, I can't even compute it. It's like I've tried to picture what you just said, and I blocked it. I can't even. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fact that you have to witness this hundreds, thousands of times is I have no words for it.
Yeah,
You
so
know what I mean?
I put them away. If I need to go into that dark place, if I need to find that rage, I can tap into it if I need to.
Mm.
Sometimes you need to, but generally I like to keep those things, locked away.
I hear you. The government claims you've had links to Al-Qaeda affiliated factions. Are they lying or misinformed?
Oh, the
Well,
government themselves have links to Al Qaeda factions, and that's public.
allegedly.
Oh, allegedly.
I like my channel.
What?
No, I like my channel, bro. I'm just
No,
saying.
that's true. That's true.
Okay, cool.
David Lammy just went and shook hands with Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani. You check it.
Okay, I'll check it. When your British citizenship was taken away, did you feel betrayed by the country you were born in?
100%. 100% I felt betrayed. I felt like I didn't ever think that would happen to me, to be honest.
Living in rebel-controlled areas, you dealt with groups like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. How do you operate humanitarian projects under an armed faction like that?
They were not the only faction. There was loads of factions, and now they're the government. So it doesn't really matter.
When Hayat Tahrir al-Sham arrested you in 2020, what actually happened behind those prison walls?
So again, that's another point. I'm accused of being HTS.
Right.
Who,
What's HTS for those that don't
yeah,
know?
it's that group that you're saying, Hayat Tahrir.
Yeah, but what is that group in the whole scheme
So
of things?
basically, their leader is a guy called Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, who is now the president of Syria. He is in charge of Syria. They were
Right.
one of the strongest factions in Syria that was fighting against the Bashar regime, and they were aligned to basically Al-Qaeda. So they were Al-Qaeda, and then they basically defected from them, and they continued fighting. And so they
Right.
were a hardline Islamist group, and then they kind of basically, moved away from that. And so now they've
Right.
been accepted worldwide by all of the countries. America, Trump's met Jawlani, the president. Labi's met him. Keir Starmer's probably going to meet him soon. Macron's met him. Do you understand? So he's been accepted everywhere. But yeah, the reason why they arrested me, again, ironically enough, is because the group that I was accused to supposedly be a part of and I got stripped of my citizenship of, I was speaking out against the torture that they were doing. They were torturing people in their prisons. And because I was speaking out against that, they arrested me.
You said you was also tortured.
Yes, I was tortured for 1 day. And I got it very light, to be honest, but still unacceptable. And yeah, I hope.
And then when they turn around in interviews and say, no, that doesn't happen, how does that make you feel?
Obviously, there are times when that happened, they did come out and deny it, etc. It was all over the news, etc. But after that, it's been proven that it did happen. So, I have some kind of vindication. Everybody knows I was telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. You've been accused of mismanaging charity money. Can you account for every pound donated to your projects?
100%. We have like transparency to like the nth degree. Do you know what I mean? And so
Is that hard as well? Because I suppose people are so quick to go, oh, you do this and you do that. And you have to have it all laid out so everyone can just blatantly see.
yeah, so you got to have systems. You got to have systems, and you got to. I think that's important. I call for transparency of other charities. So I just wrote a book. It's called the Muslim Charity Guidebook, and it speaks about the questions that we need to ask charities, because I've seen a lot of mismanagement. So those accusations of mismanagement against me was just when I went to prison. They basically wanted to put out anything just to make people feel that, they were just basically trying to ruin my reputation. And alhamdulillah, that all got proved that none of that was true. That was just all nonsense.
Do you think some Western volunteers who went to Syria secretly wanted to be a part of the war rather than just help?
Yeah, of course, that did happen. 100% that did happen. But again, what was wrong with being part of the war? There was nothing wrong with being part of the war. I've been open about that on many media channels. Like, if you're against an oppressor, what's the problem?
If the UK allowed you back tomorrow, would you return, or have you become a man of Syria now?
A bit of both. I would come back. Like I said, I'll visit family and stuff. Would I reside there? I don't know. Maybe when I'm an old man.
Did you ever feel manipulated by any militant group while trying to do humanitarian work?
Yeah, people try to, manipulate us. People try to, but I'm from the ends, bro. Being from East,
Are you really from the end?
you know what I mean? Like, you're really from the ends.
Man knows them tunes, bro. Come on.
Too many where they wanna pretend.
Jesus, he knows the big lyrics. Even the cameraman don't know them type of lyrics there. Anyway,
So yeah,
sorry.
on a level, being from East London kept me street smart, bro. It kept me alive out here many times.
Yeah. What are your favorite songs growing up, bro? Oh, let's laugh it at it. Do you sometimes go on the Spotify and just, you get me, reminisce?
I do not condone any of this. You know, obviously, look, I'm a human in it. Sometimes I'll have some nostalgia. I'll go back, but I believe music's haram in it, so I don't.
Okay,
I
but back in the day, was you a house and garage man or grimehead?
bro, back in the day, I started with the garage, like before grime. You know what I mean?
You're a Heartless Crew fan,
Heartless
100%. But
Crew,
anyway,
all of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I came up in the garage times. Then grime and all that came after, bro.
okay. Back to this. Your wife and children live in a war zone. Do you ever feel guilty for raising them in that environment?
My wife and kids say it again.
Your wife and children live in a war zone. Do you ever feel guilty for raising them in that environment?
Nah, not at all. If you see my kids, they ride horses, they do martial arts, they can do flips and all of that. They can speak, they're bilingual. Yeah, nah, not at all.
You survive airstrikes, arrests, and assassination attempts. At what point does helping others become risking too much? I said never, you know. Some people compare Western fighters in Syria to ISIS recruits. What makes your journey different from theirs?
Because we basically fought against them and they tried to kill us.
Have intelligence agencies ever tried to recruit you as an informant because of your access in Syria? Some next question.
That's a mad question. Like, AI is mad. Funny
Let's.
you say that, yeah, because they've never tried to recruit me. I know a lot of people that they did try to recruit, but with me, like, this guy's on one, so we're not even gonna try with this guy.
Have they not tried to Have they not tried to offer you some Bitcoin in an account somewhere? So listen, hold this 10 Bitcoin.
Even I would have been like,
What's the biggest lie told about you in the media?
yeah, the biggest lie told is that obviously I'm a bad person and, you know, I'm a terrorist and I've you know, done acts of terrorism or all of that is lies and none of that is true. And I believe that one day the truth, you know, will be clear.
If history writes a chapter about Tox Sharif, do you think it will say humanitarian hero or dangerous radical?
I don't know, man. History will have to answer that, right? When I'm dead and buried, then we will see. But that doesn't really matter to me. What God thinks about me is what is most important. That's number one.
Some critics say Western volunteers like you had a jihadi fantasy. What do you say to people who think that's what really drove you?
I think that depends what you believe a jihadi fantasy is. If you believe that people who are oppressed need to be saved, then that's a good fantasy to have, you know. You want to, you know, help people. If that jihadi fantasy is, you know, ISIS and chopping people's heads off and stuff, then of course that's wrong, innit?
If your children later ask, Dad, were you part of the war or just helping people? What would your honest answer be?
I would say, yeah, I was part of everything. I was a part of everything, and you know, that's the way it should be. You should help in any way you can, whether that's physically or, you know, speaking out or hating it in your heart.
If the British government called you tomorrow and said, come back to the UK, what's the first thing you would say to them?
If you give me a fair trial, I'll come.
After everything you've seen in Syria, do you still believe the world cares about people there?
Not really. Sadly, the world and the powers that be, they care about their own interests. And, you know, all of this Epstein stuff is clear evidence of that, right? People claim to be, you know, good people, but they're all PDFs, you know, doing a bunch of madness. And then they want to preach goodness to the rest of the world. It's a bit all over the place.
If you died tomorrow, what do you hope people would say about Tox Sharif that they don't say today?
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To God we belong and to God we return.
What's the one truth about the Syrian war that the Western media will probably never tell the public?
That Bashar was an evil man, that he was super evil from day one, you know? and he should have, he brutalized his own people. But they know that because he was placed there after colonization by the French. So, I mean, they do this everywhere. It's not something divide and conquer. We learn it in school.
Mm. Looking straight into the camera, do you believe history would judge you as a hero, villain, or a man who simply did what he thought was right?
Man who simply did what he thought was right.
30 quick fire questions and we're done, brother. Thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing, insightful, and it's lovely to hear words like juk for the first time in 20 years. All right. East London or Syria?
Syria.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
One word to describe the Syrian war.
Madness.
The bravest person you've met in Syria.
Whoa, that's a difficult one. I've met a lot of brave people. Bilal Abdul Karim. Google him, search him. Free
I will
Bilal
do
Abdul
so.
Karim, by the way.
The scariest moment of your life.
Being surrounded by the regime and thinking you're going to get caught. Thinking they're going to take you as a prisoner.
A time in Syria that changed you forever.
First time I saw a dead girl in my arms, she was like that same age as my daughter. That changed me forever.
One thing people in the UK misunderstand about Syria.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It is a melting pot of civilizations.
One thing Syrians misunderstand about the West.
That not all people are against them.
Hardest day of your life.
Whew, hardest day of my life. When I had to bury 40 of my own brethren in the same day.
The first thing you miss about the UK.
First thing I miss about the UK. Family.
One thing you don't miss about the UK at all.
The rain, the weather.
Ain't that a fact, bruv. Social media, helpful or harmful?
Helpful.
One word to describe the UK government.
Always.
Careful with your words, bro, because man's got to stand and face them soon, you get me? One word to describe your critics.
One word to describe my critics. Haters.
One word to describe your supporters.
Humans.
The most dangerous place you've ever been.
Gaza.
A moment in Syria that made you cry.
Moment in Syria that made me cry. There's been a lot. Like, as a man, you don't show your emotions, but what made me cry? You know what made me cry recently? A girl in the UK on an Elbic factory for Palestine Action. She made me cry. I was like, rah, she's brave, man. Look at all these Muslim big man not doing nothing. And this girl just became Muslim 3 days ago and she's like smashing in the Elbic factory. That made me cry.
A moment you're proud of.
The first day I came to Syria, bringing an ambulance here.
If you could meet one world leader, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, who would I want to meet? Erdogan.
If you could ask that leader one question, what would it be?
Oh, these questions are tough.
I am sick with the questions, Tox. Don't gas me, bro.
I would say, what would I ask him? What's the plan for Palestine?
Your biggest regret.
My biggest regret. I don't have any.
The biggest lie told about you.
I've been stealing charity money.
One thing people would be surprised to know about you.
I got 3 wives.
I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. You get me? The most valuable lesson war taught you.
Be thankful.
The hardest part of humanitarian work.
Being consistent.
Courage or caution.
Courage.
Faith or fate.
Faith.
If you could go back to 2012, would you still go back to Syria?
Yes.
A message to your children watching this one day.
Speak the truth, whether it's for you or against you.
Finish the sentence. The world would be better if.
Well, that's a difficult question, isn't it? The world would be better if everybody just had a bit of understanding, saw things from the other person's shoes.
And the last question I always ask people is, are you happy? But I get a sense that you are. There is a glow in you. There's a way that you smile. It's quite unique, to be honest, and it's quite apparent to me. So I think I've answered my own question.
Alhamdulillah. As Habib says, Alhamdulillah.
Do you have a final message?
Just keep us in your prayers, man. And thanks for having me on the podcast. It's been a pleasure. It's been of all the podcasts I've done, I've got to say this was a very enjoyable, interesting one.
That's very kind of you, sir.
And yeah, we invite you all to come out to Syria, inshallah.
I just want to say thank you for your time, sir. It's been amazing to understand more of your story. It's equally lovely when you kind of from the area and you talk like that. So I know I've been a bit comical at times, but it's a very serious thing going on, and you know the work you're doing. I can't comprehend in my head how you're doing all of this. So it's amazing. You know, you're saving lives, doing God's work. So long may that continue. Love to you and your family. Thank you so much for your time. And there is a doner kebab waiting for you, bro. If you ever touch down, if you have it without me, there's beef. You call me, it's on me, bro. I'll take you to the best place. I got you, my friend, yeah?
Inshallah. Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
Love and respect you, sir. Thank you.